Meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. Now, this building has a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system, so if alarms should go off, please leave through the exits. You'll be met by our city marshal's office there. They'll tell you when it's safe to re-enter the building. We have no reason to expect that this will take place, but I've been asked to make that announcement at each and every meeting. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Reverend Robert Fowler, Victory Missionary Baptist Church, and please remain standing for the pledge.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
It's always good to see you.
Nice to see you, sir.
Would you bow with me, please? Eternal God and Heavenly Father, we thank you once again this morning for the precious privilege that is ours to be able to live this day and to live it in this country, and for us especially to be able to live it in this state and in this city. We thank you for the many manifold blessings that you have bestowed upon us, showered us with, the health and strength that we possess in our bodies, and the beautiful atmosphere that we have to live this day out in. There are people across this country that don't have weather or means as great and grand as ours, and we're grateful for how you have smiled and shined upon us. This morning, our Father, we turn our attention to this City Council and the responsibilities that belong to them. They have decisions that they need to make today that are going to impact our city, impact its economy, impact the peace and the pleasure that we have as citizens. And I pray your wisdom upon them. I pray your sensitivity into each and every heart of every City Council person that is here today. I pray that as they deliberate about decisions, that they will seek your wisdom, and as they make decisions, that they will do it with a sensitive heart, realizing that the decisions, whether they impact a corporate business or an individual's home, is impacting someone's personal life. And so give them the sensitivity of God and the wisdom of God as they make their decisions today. We thank you for their families that afford us the privilege of being able to utilize them as government officials, and we pray your blessings upon them as well. And then for those of us that are citizens, as decisions are made that impact our life, if they impact us negatively, give us understanding that it wasn't a personal decision. If they impact us positively, give us the ability to be grateful and appreciative. But in either case, help us to be supportive of the decisions that impact our city. And then, God, we pray that you would usher in peace and prosperity. In the name of Christ our Lord. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bless you. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ceremonial portion of our agenda, and for our first item, we are going to recognize the July Employee of the Month, and I'd like to ask Steve Ford, Deputy Director of the Field Operations Department, to join us at the podium. And I'm proud to announce that the July Employee of the Month is Jeff Dix. Jeff, would you please come forward? Let's have a round of applause. Jeff's employed as an administrative project specialist with the Field Operations Department and has been with the city since April of 1997. In 2005, Jeff was assigned to serve as a utilities coordinator for the city, making him responsible for tracking all city-related utility issues. Due to his efforts in tracking these areas, Jeff discovered a billing error in a water account that resulted in the city receiving a rebate check from the Las Vegas Valley Water District in the amount of $186,000. Additionally, he tracked down and eliminated old, unused utility accounts, saving even more money. Due to his enthusiastic efforts, he saved the city over $200,000 this past year in utility costs. Finally, he instituted a waste copper wire recycling program where waste copper wire from city electrical retrofit and rehabilitation projects is separated, stripped, and sent to a recycler. During the past year, this program has provided more than $30,000 to the city. While this work is amazing anytime, it's especially key in these tough economic times. So on behalf of the entire City Council, we'd like to congratulate you on being named the July 2008 Employee of the Month, and along with this beautiful plaque, this is even better. Anyone can get a plaque. I have a lot of plaques, but I don't have a $100 Visa card, which you're going to get, compliments of the Nevada Federal Credit Union, and a one-year membership to 24 Hour Fitness, courtesy of 24 Hour Fitness and the Mulaski Group. Congratulations.
Mayor and Council, I'd like to congratulate Jeff on this accomplishment. It's important to note that 2 years ago this position didn't exist at all, and there was nobody really watching over the literally thousands of utility accounts that belong to the city. And Jeff's determination and diligence in searching out and finding cost savings has been very beneficial for our department and the city as a whole, so I'd like to congratulate him.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity that the Field Operations Department has afforded me to sniff out these refunds for utility accounts. We have about 3,700 utility accounts that total up to about $16, $17 million a year. And since kind of developing these detective skills, we've benefited by being able to return this money to the general fund for reprogramming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's great. Thank you. Congratulations. For our next item, I'm honored to recognize student interns from a wonderful program that was initiated just in the past several years called Batteries Included Youth Initiative Summer Intern Program. The Batteries Included Youth Initiative is a community partnership between the city, the Clark County School District, and Nevada Partners. The program is designed to create partnership opportunities that will improve youth education efforts, strengthen families, enhance job skills, and promote healthy communities. A core program that has resulted from the initiative is the Youth Internship and Work Experience Program. The 12-week course is designed to provide youth with career development and job readiness skills. Youth who successfully complete the program are eligible to be placed in an 8-week internship for the summer. And this is a great program. It was started basically between, I believe, the city and Steve Horsford, Nevada Partners, and we really have made a difference, I believe, in taking the young folks in this community who really want to improve themselves, who want to learn these kind of skills, and giving them the opportunity to do so. It's a hands-on, it's a practical type program, and it's a great learning experience for each and every one of these youngsters who will now be recognized. As I call your name, and the first recipient is from the Information Technologies Department. He's not here today. That's Oscar Alfaro, unless he changed his mind. A guy with a name like Oscar should be here. No? Okay. Now I'm sure we have from the Leisure Services Department, Asia Jackson and Samuel Sedgwick. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on up. Now, are you Asia or Samuel? No, I'm kidding. Hi. Congratulations. There you go. That's great. And from the Las Vegas Municipal Court, Xavier Berry. Okay. From the Neighborhood Services Department, Jacquel Nicholson. Well, this is a great program. Unbelievable. We made an impact on these youngsters. That's good. And Doris Edwards. Okay. Here, Doris. Congratulations. Good seeing you. And from the City Council offices, Jamel Martin. No, Jamal's here. Oh, please come up. That's even better. That's cool. Okay. Where is your son? Okay. Okay, he's working for a living. That's good. Now, come on, Mr. Martin, come on down, please. Take this with your son, please. That's very nice that you came forward this way. There he is. This kid eats more chocolate. Hi. I have never seen him without a bag of chocolate on the 10th floor. Right or wrong? Am I right? You're right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, and this is for you. Very good. Okay, give him a round of applause, please. And when you see these youngsters around City Hall, thank them and congratulate them for the good job that you're doing. Would you like to say something? Would you like to, Asia? Go ahead. Come on. No? Come on, John. You're ready. You look like a Have a seat, okay? Very good. Good job. Okay, for our next two items, Councilman Wilson will recognize two very successful public safety programs, one coordinated by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and another developed by our own Fire and Rescue Department. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. The ceremonial portion of our council meeting is a great time to recognize accomplishments and present awards, but it also gives us an opportunity to educate residents about important issues. Each year we hear tragic reports of children being left in parked cars during the summer heat. The result can be severe dehydration, long-term medical problems, or even death. The Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Department has a program to remind people of the dangers of leaving children and pets in a vehicle during the hottest months of the year. The Heat Kills campaign is a widespread effort to constantly remind people that leaving a child or a pet in a vehicle can be a fatal mistake. While many people have lived here for a while and know how severe our summer weather can be, we have a lot of people, thousands of people moving into the Las Vegas area each month that may find out the hard way just how severe the heat can be. This is why the Heat Kills campaign is in place. I'd like to ask Fire Chief Greg Gammon to join me here at the podium and give us some more information about the Heat Kills campaign. Chief?
Thank you, Councilman Wilson. The Heat Kills program is a public awareness campaign that was initiated by the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue in May of 2004. The objective was to make residents and visitors aware of the dangers of leaving children unattended in parked vehicles, especially during our hot summers. Our first objective was to come up with a way to remind people about the danger. A simple label which clings to glass was designed. The idea was to put the label on the front door of businesses so when people would enter, they would see the reminder. These labels were made in both English and Spanish, and over 7,500 of them are on the doors of businesses today. And on the corners at the entrances, I have some of those for you, and I would hope that all of you get the opportunity to take one home with you and to take a bumper sticker with you also. At the same time that we were starting our campaign, 50 cat buses carried the message on the rear of the bus so that when people would come up from behind, they would also be that they would see the reminder, and that campaign lasted for 6 months. We then had the bumper sticker made, and that bumper sticker has been distributed all over the city. The temperature inside a parked vehicle can rise rapidly in just a few minutes. On a typical summer day for us here in Las Vegas, the inside of a vehicle can reach 160 degrees in just a few minutes. In 2007, the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue responded to 298 calls for children locked in vehicles. This year, we've already responded to 141 of that same call of a child locked in a vehicle. We feel that the large numbers, though, point to the success of the program and the community awareness of the dangers of leaving kids in cars. Fortunately, almost all of these calls result in the children being freed from the vehicle before any harm occurs, but we still see 1 or 2 children every year that die as a result of being left in a vehicle. The public is not hesitating to call 911 when they see this occur. It is now against the law to leave a child in a parked vehicle in the state of Nevada. I want to thank Councilman Wolfson for giving me this opportunity to speak about this program. And we encourage the public, when you see these children in parked cars, call 911. You'll get the police department out there. We get there rapidly, whether it's the police department or the fire department. We don't hesitate in getting into that car by whatever means that we need to, and we'll get those kids out. So please be aware of the dangers of this summer heat and what it can do to these poor kids. And the campaign is about kids, but we also see it, and it doesn't get as much media attention, but pets also. The same thing that it can do to a young child, the heat can do to these pets. So please be aware. Thank you.
I'm the lucky one this morning. I get to do two in a row. It's now my pleasure to recognize one of Metro's finest programs. In response to the over 20,000 vehicles stolen in 2005 and the fact that Las Vegas was ranked #1 in the nation for stolen vehicles in 2006, Metro's Auto Theft Detail developed several tactics to reduce the number of citizens victimized by this crime. One of these tactics was the implementation of a program called the Bait Car Program. The bait cars are left in a targeted area, and once the vehicle is stolen, it can be safely disengaged, allowing police officers to take the suspect or suspects into custody. In addition to apprehending the suspects, they also have a videotape of the suspects in action. In May of this year, one of these bait cars was left at the Angel Park Golf Club, which is in my ward, Ward 2, which was stolen. After it was stolen, the suspect heard the sirens of the approaching officers and attempted to escape. Metro was able to disengage the vehicle, and the suspects fled the area. He was eventually caught and taken into custody, and the entire thing was caught on film by a local news helicopter. I'm now going to ask you all to watch a video. This is not the video of the actual incident in question, but this camera in the vehicle allows the police and prosecutors to obtain critical evidence needed to hold these people accountable for their actions. So please watch the video. She thinks she got a truck.
You can't get this right. Will we go to the jail?
Myself?
You want to get this right?
I don't want to keep it. I want to sell it.
When?
It's 24 hours before this truck can be reported stolen. I'm going to take it to my girlfriend. In the garage. We just stole a truck. A truck! A truck, yeah. Mom. We took, the keys were in the ignition, so we took it. Hey.
There we go.
Hey, we just stole a truck.
Perfect. In pops.
Our feelings over?
Go to the jail. You too. Hey, fill up the phone. And you too?
Driver of the vehicle.
You too?
Step out of the
Hey, we're
vehicle
getting
and
pulled
raise
over
your
right
hands
now.
in the air.
Yeah,
So we get out the wrong truck.
right outside, dude.
Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice.
Well, is that a classic or what? I'll tell you, being a former prosecutor, would I love to have evidence like that, and being a current defense lawyer, I'd hate that evidence. I'm very pleased to recognize Metro's auto theft detail, and specifically the Vehicle Investigations Project for Enforcement and Recovery, also known as VIPER, under the leadership of Captain Stavros Anthony, Lieutenant Bob Duvall, Sergeant Rick Given, and Sergeant E.P. Brown. The number of auto thefts in Las Vegas dropped 15.7% in 2007 and are down 32% already in 2008, and Las Vegas is no longer the number one in the nation for auto theft. VIPER was recently selected by the International Association of Chiefs of Police Vehicle Theft Committee for the 2008 Vehicle Theft Award of Merit. We'd like to recognize these hard-working officers, thank them for their efforts in combating a crime that has affected many people in our community. Captain Stavros Anthony, would you please join me here at the podium? I know a number of your officers are here, so how about a big round of applause for their efforts? Great job.
Mayor, Councilman Wolfson, members of the City Council, thank you very much for this recognition. It's well-deserved. As Councilman Wolfson mentioned, in 2005, we saw a 23.36% increase in auto thefts. We had a little over 20,000 vehicles stolen that year, and that was absolutely unacceptable. The community was in outrage. We had too many victims of crimes in this particular area. So what happened was we had a leadership team in the auto theft section that got together and developed a very comprehensive strategic plan to do something about this. And that plan involved developing legislation on a state level, targeting road tow companies. One of those programs we just saw was the bait car program. We've arrested 223 individuals for that particular program, and like Councilman Wolfson said, they are very the district attorney's office takes every single one of them seriously. We prosecute them, and these people go to prison. We've also investigated owner give-ups where people are burning their vehicles for insurance purposes, and we're making arrests there. We're going after organized chop shops that are making a lot of money stealing parts, and we developed what Councilman Wolfson mentioned, the VIPER program, which is a multi-agency task force. This was not just a City of Las Vegas problem. This was a problem involving every single community. So we have members on a VIPER program from NHP, from Henderson, from North Las Vegas, as well as our department, and we've been working very well. And as a result of these efforts, like the councilman said, we are no longer number one in the nation in auto thefts. We've dropped almost 32% this year, and if we continue at that rate, which I know we will, we'll probably have the lowest number of vehicles stolen in almost 10 years, and we are being recognized nationally by ACP for our efforts. So this is a valley-wide effort. It's been our departments. The district attorney's been helpful, the attorney general, DMV, the insurance companies have been very helpful, the National Insurance Crime Bureau, and I wanted to specifically recognize a leadership team that really put this program together. That's Bob Duvall, if you could stand, Lieutenant Bob Duvall. E.P. Brown, who is VIPER Investigations, he's not here today. Rick Given, who is VIPER Operations, Sergeant Rick Given, if you could stand. And also Sergeant Walt Dennison, who is here, one of our sergeants from Henderson Police Department, and he's in charge of VIPER enforcement. And we also have members, both commissioned and civilian, men and women, that have been working on this very hard. They're the ones that are doing the job. If I could have all you stand up, please, and just be recognized. You're doing an outstanding job. Thank you. And last, I wanted to recognize Deputy Chief Jim Owens, who's in charge of the Investigative Services Division for Metro. So thanks to Jim. So again, thank you very much, Mayor, Councilman. Appreciate it. This is very well-deserved, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you. Captain Anthony, on behalf of the City of Las Vegas and Mayor Oscar Goodman, I'd like to proclaim July 16th, 2008 as Viper Day. And then, with the mayor's permission, you told me a cute little story about that Angel Park bust that as the officers were approaching the guy, you remember what story you told me about him and what he did when he was arrested? Can you share that with us?
Sure. Yeah, he when the vehicle was disengaged, right by Angel Park Golf Course, he ran through the golf course. He stole a golf cart. We got this. I think it was the first pursuit we had with a golf cart. We had employees from Angel Park with golf clubs that were chasing after him, and I don't know what they were going to do with the golf clubs, but they never did catch him. And he finally made it up to the Summerlin Parkway, where he basically passed out, threw up, put his hands up in the air, and he got cuffed and took jail. So put his hands straight up in the air and said, "I'm done. You guys are way too good." So.
Captain, did his partner in crime, the young lady, was she actually putting on makeup after she was arrested?
Yes, and the other thing is their 3-year-old baby was in the back seat.
Oh, that's great. Oh, they start him young. Unbelievable. These are morons, the two of them. 3-year-old, that's nice. Okay. Well, we're not number one anymore. That's good, isn't it? Okay, our final item, we have the special presentation by the Nevada Human Rights Campaign, and I'd like our city manager, Dr. Selby, to please join us here. And I'd also like to ask Christina Kuzema and James Healy to join us to tell us more about this very special award. Doug?
Mayor and Council, we were privileged last month to be recognized by the Nevada Human Rights Campaign for a program that we put into place a couple years ago. A few years ago, we identified a roadblock to equal benefits for a lot of our employees, and thanks to the leadership of our Human Resources Department, specifically Claudette Enos and Vicki Robinson, our risk manager, and the City Council, we were able to remove that roadblock. And that was a roadblock that didn't allow some of our valued and productive employees who have non-traditional partnerships or domestic relationships to have the insurance benefits that the rest of our employees have. This was something that we identified as part of our diversity initiative, where we look at our employee workforce and look to treat everybody fair and equitably. So we were able to remove that roadblock, again, with the support of the City Council, and we thank the Human Rights Campaign for their recognition of that.
Thank you, Doug. Please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a distinct honor to be here this morning to thank you, Mayor Goodman, City Council, Dr. Selby, Ms. Enos, and the City of Las Vegas for taking an active leadership role and doing what is fair and equitable. And I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Selby, and he indicated that it was real simple. Insurance for one is insurance for all, and it was the fair and equitable thing to do. And so it is, as I say, my honor and privilege to present this award. It's not a plaque.
Okay, good. Too many plaques. Good.
To the mayor, this
you.
is our Leadership in Government
That's
Award.
great.
You've made an incredible contribution for standing up for the rights of every employee in the city of Las Vegas. And I stand in awe. This is just incredible. This is huge. I hope other Nevada state agencies as well as local agencies follow your lead and extend the same to all their employees.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you very much for having us today in Council. This honor is spectacular and is actually a model throughout the country now for other cities and government agencies to take your lead and follow your lead and present domestic partner benefits for all employees. So this is a great first step. We hope everyone else in the state of Nevada and the country follows your lead. And once again, on behalf of Nevada and Las Vegas Human Rights Campaign, thank you very much for this honor and this fairness.
Thank you very much for joining us. That's great. Thank you. That's it with the ceremonial. You need 2 minutes? All right, folks, we'll start our regular meeting now and call item number 10. Any items from the morning session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have one item number 41 is approval of a Rule 9 line extension agreement with Nevada Power Company for relocation of existing power facilities for the Horse Drive/US 95 interchange. Staff's asked to strike. Are there any other items we need to report at this time? Seeing none, Your Honor, I make a motion to bring this item forward. Take appropriate action, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And Ms. Bridges, would the record reflect that Councilman Barlow is excused? Thank you, sir. Very good. Item number 11 is approval of the final minutes by reference of the regular City Council meeting of June 18, 2008. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes, Your Honor. No addition or deletion. Make a motion for approval of the minutes, please.
All right. Let's vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 12 through 43 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the departments and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items that the council wishes to bring forward at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a request for item 34 to be trailed until this afternoon at 9 o'clock for certain. It's
at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. Approval to allocate a $416,000 grant in home investment partnership and/or low-income housing trust fund to Alpha Omega Strategies to assist in funding the residents at Village Square. This is in Ward 5.
Very good, Mr. DeFiore.
Mayor, if I could request that items 22, 23, and 24 be brought forward for corrections.
Okay.
Item. Should we just read them in when you do it? Okay.
Would you like to do that?
Are there any other items? Hearing none, Your Honor, I'll make a motion to approve items 12 through 43 with the exceptions of 22, 23, 24, and 34.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed?
Just like in Panaca, buddy. It's just like in Panaca.
Motion carries. Okay, 22 is approval of a new slot route operators subject to the provisions of the planning and fire codes and confirmation of approval by the Nevada Gaming Commission, Nevada Gaming Partners, LLC, the Bruce I. Familian Trust, doing business as City Stop 5, 1200 North Town Center Drive, and this is in Ward 2. Shall I call them all, or would you like me to do one at
They're all
a
the
time?
same. They're all the same.
Okay. Item 23 is approval of a new slot rail operator subject to the provisions of the planning and fire codes and confirmation of approval by the Nevada Gaming Commission, Nevada Gaming Partners LLC, the Bruce I. Familian Trust, doing business at City Stop 5 at 7591 North Cimarron Road. And 24 is approval of a new slot route operator subject to the provisions of the planning and fire codes and confirmation of approval by the Nevada Gaming Commission, Nevada Gaming Partners LLC, the Bruce I. Familian Trust, doing business at City Stop 5, 3250 North Durango Road.
Mayor, on item number 22, the only correction that needs to be made is the last name of Mr. Familian should reflect that it should be ending in "in" and rather than "im." In item 23, City Stop 5 should be corrected to be reflecting City Stop 7,
Okay.
and the last name again with ending in "in."
Okay.
And then on item 24, City Stop 5 should reflect City Stop 6,
Okay.
and again, the last name ending in "in."
All right, thank you. Well, even though they're in different words, I'll ask the Mayor Pro Tem to make that motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to, with those corrections on these items, 22, 23, and 24, I make a motion for approval with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks. Item number 44 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of vacant or abandoned dangerous building and assess civil penalties located at 4823 Iowa Avenue. The property owner is Janet Sanchez, and this is in Ward 1. This is a public hearing, folks, which I now declare open. Mr. Smith.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired WA Construction LLC to remove refuse, waste, vegetation, secure all structure to the City of Las Vegas specifications, and post no trespassing, no dumping, no vehicle signs. To date, there have been 8 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of November 2005 was $158,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses in the amount of $2,874.35 for work completed by WA Construction, and that does include civil penalties and reinspection fees at that location.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Smith at this time? Folks, the public hearing, is the property owner Janet Sanchez here? Would anyone like to be heard from the public? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilwoman Tarkanian?
Move to approve staff's recommendation.
Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 45 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance regarding a dangerous building and assess civil penalties located at 6216 Bolata Drive. The property owners are Ramiro G. and Catalina V. Estrada, and this is in Ward 5. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired CH Construction to conduct an emergency boarding and securing of units A, B, C, and D, all windows, doors, openings to the City of Las Vegas specification, and post no trespassing signs on site. To date, there have been 7 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of November 2005 was $535,000. The recommendation that the City Council approve the report of expenses in the amount of $4,712.70 for work completed by CH Construction LLC.
All right, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith, this property now, as it sits there today, is it boarded up?
It is boarded.
So it's a blight?
It is.
And it's a blight that will last for an indefinite period of time.
After we go through this process, I will turn this over to the vacant abandoned building officer,
Right.
who will again start notifying that this is now a vacant abandoned building, that they need to give us a mitigation plan on the building. They need to move forward with either reoccupying it or selling it or doing something so it won't remain boarded.
What happens if they don't respond?
A lot of these that I bring before you are situations that we have gone in and done an exterior rehab to make it appear occupied, putting the bars and the protective coverings over the windows so it doesn't remain a boarded building and a blight to the community.
But it remains vacant.
It may remain vacant.
Is there anything, Mr. Jervik? You know, we always ask this question. I know I've been asking it along with the council for 10 years now. Anything we could do to get title to the property and perhaps put those people who are in need, who are having problems financially, instead of just leaving a piece of property out there with some facade on it?
Yeah, I appreciate the council's goal on this. Without acquiring the property, it would be a taking, and so it would either require buying it out of foreclosure, buying it from the owner, or some kind of acquisition before we could do something like that.
Well, it seems to me that we could probably steal it.
They're pretty hard to walk away with, but...
No, I'm not talking about like the people who were in the truck on the golf course. I'm talking about that if we made an effort, after giving proper notice and due process and everything, that we could probably buy it for next to nothing if people are acting the way they are. It looks like they've just walked away from the property. And right now we're in a position where the best that's going to happen, as far as us getting our money out of it, is to wait till the property is ultimately sold, because we have a lien against it. But I would really like to explore being able to use our power, our governmental power, to acquire the property and steal it, and then put it to some good use.
If I could make a suggestion, Mayor, one of the things, as you're aware of, we have set aside money in redevelopment, and redevelopment also has the authority to acquire property.
We have it until 1 o'clock.
We could sit down with the manager's office and with code enforcement and see if there might be some way to explore some kind of affordable housing opportunities with respect to properties like this.
I would like to. I would like to check that out, because it appears to me that there are folks who are really suffering as a result of the foreclosures now. We have a whole new type of working poor, and this could be utilized for some decent purpose rather than to just have it out there sitting. No matter how pretty we make it, it's still a, what do they call it, a pig with sow's ears or something like that?
Your Honor?
I knew I blew that one. It's not a pig with sow's. What is it called?
A silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Right.
Silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Whatever it is. Okay. Very good. Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, maybe we just need to keep reminding the attorney's office every week or so to do this, because we've been doing it for many, many years.
Yeah, I think we really have to be very aggressive now. Really mean it.
Mayor Goodman?
Yes.
Sorry. It's lipstick on a pig.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't we start imposing $500 a day fines on some properties that it was appropriate to do so? And would this qualify under that category if the council so chose?
It absolutely would, yes.
Secondly, you said that there may be something where you go out and you put bars up. That's a cost that's absorbed by the city. Do we then pass that on to the owner?
We do. That's when we do the mitigations. We go out, we may have the outside exterior painted, we'll have the repairs done, protective coatings over the windows, with including the security bars to keep people from breaking in and breaking out the windows, and then we would come back before you and lien that property for that amount.
So we do have the ability, if the council so chose, in addition to what he's asking for now, is to impose additional $500 a day penalties. This isn't Councilman Barlow's ward. I don't want to do anything without him here, but we have that ability.
Very good. Yes, sir. Public hearing.
Thank you. Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. Silk purse, sow's ear, lipstick on a pig. Those are some of my best thoughts, and they were stolen by the ancients. Now you got them. But I do want to say for the public record, the mayor's recommendation is one of the best I've heard in this city council over the past 20 years. It is absolutely long overdue. It is commendable, especially in this day and age. And it might not surprise you, Mr. Mayor, to learn that there is somebody seated in this audience today who could be very, very helpful in fulfilling that recommendation, bringing it about to assist you, at least in an advisory context, and you might want to talk to him about it. His name is Arnold Stock. And I say that without his indulgence. He doesn't even know I'm going to say it, but I just did. It just so happens that Mr. Stock, many years ago, in a previous administration or incarnation, had something to do with converting a useless property into what later became the Nash Village Complex. And of course his experience goes way beyond that to other areas of redevelopment of distressed properties and maybe blighted urban sectors. He would be absolutely of high value in this particular project if he chooses to approach you and talk about it. In any case, I do want to commend you for your recommendation. I'm sure Mr. Jervik and his colleagues are learned to the extent that they could easily figure out a way to make that your wish come true. And we can start turning this whole thing around long before Obama or anybody else gets into office on the national level, because we can't wait that long. We have to move on it now. Thanks.
Would anyone else like to be heard?
Mayor, if I may, I would just like to, as you'll see with the next two cases that come up, the Bellotta area is becoming that whole complex. That's Jones and Lake Mead area. And we have put a great effort into going in there with Metro and cleaning up and getting rid of the illegal drug activity. And so you're seeing a lot of these property owners, because we won't allow the drug activity and the crime that was going on back into this area, you're seeing a lot of these property owners now just walk away from these properties. So.
Right, but my point is that we should be able to take over those properties and make them into something useful rather than just allow them to sit there.
And I think now would be a good time on a lot of these properties if it's something we can do.
Let's see whether we can work together on this.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman.
If you can do, as Councilman Wilson said, and you've told us in the past, the civil penalties at $500 a day it was, and if they added up to the cost of the house eventually, why couldn't you take it?
That's a question I can't answer for. I don't know what the legalities, I believe Mr. Jervik.
Mr. Jervik, if they did have $500 a day penalties, and if that added up eventually to the cost of a house, could you then take it and utilize it for a way to help others?
There are two separate proceedings here, and one would be a process in which we file liens against the house. That would be for nuisance abatement. Fines imposed by a court don't generally result in seizing a home, but they would just be, fines that go against the individual homeowner. They probably would not be a lien on the property. But with respect to acquiring the house itself, there are probably several means, and I was just discussing with Councilman Ross, where we have a housing authority that is always interested in acquiring new Section 8 housing. We have a lot of houses in the valley in foreclosure right now. It might be an opportunity for the government and others to look at expanding the base of affordable housing and getting involved in picking up some of these houses at bargain prices that can be used, as the mayor so eloquently put it, for people who need them.
Councilman Ross.
And if I may add to that, Your Honor, that location was previously in Ward 6, and we had problems with it prior to redistricting the council wards. So I'm very familiar with this area, and drove by there the other day with that thought in mind, similar to what Mr. Jervik had just mentioned. There should be possibly some conversation with the Las Vegas Housing Authority, and perhaps, Your Honor, there's got to be some vehicle legally that allows us as the local government to do what's necessary for these blighted areas. There's got to be some vehicle to allow us to do that.
I'd like to at least test it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if we get sued, we get sued. That's part of the price we pay, but it seems to me that we're allowing a situation to just remain really unaddressed for all intents and purposes, when we really need them at this time.
And if we're proactive and think forward thinking, we can, so we stir it up a little bit, but maybe that's what it's going to take.
Okay, and Mr. Jervik, I don't disagree with the statement you made because I don't know the answer, but I'm not sure that $500 a day penalty does not attach as a lien to the home. I'm not sure that it would just be against the owner of the home as an individual. I think it probably would go against the home itself. And when I use the expression we could steal the home, if we lean it up enough, we could steal the home.
Let me maybe rephrase. If it's a civil penalty through this kind of a hearing, I think the lien does attach to the home. If it's a criminal penalty, the court would not.
Right, so we may want to start thinking of doing that, the $500 a day. We'll get it up there, and nobody's going to bid for it. We'll take it over and call it a day, get our money, and use it for a good cause for a family that can't afford a home.
Mayor Goodman, real quickly, I think we did do it a couple of times a year and a half ago or so. Yeah, but we just haven't done it more recently.
We did impose fines, but we never did it to an extent of $500 a day to get it up to a level where we could then move in and take the home. I think we have to do that.
Well,
these people don't want their homes. They wouldn't allow them to become this way if they wanted their home.
Your Honor, if I could?
Yes.
I think we have, but we never find them perpetually, one day after another. I mean, it was just, we always got feeling sorry for the homeowners or whatever, and we reduced the fine. On something like this here, with these next two items, I have talked to Councilman Barlow's staff, and I don't have any problem taking the heat and putting a $500 a day fine on all three of them.
All right, now, does that work prospectively or retroactively as far as the $500 a day?
I do believe that at your discretion, you have a right to put a $500 a day civil penalty all the way back to when this case started. It actually started in October of '07. We've been dealing with these properties since October of '07.
How about as far as imposing a $500 a day penalty into the future as well, until the matter is finally resolved as far as the home?
I do believe, Mr. Jervik, is that not correct, that they can impose it into the future until?
I think that's correct. I think as long as the nuisance remains unabated and the situation remains unchanged, this council has discretion to impose up to $500 a day penalty.
It's my understanding, Mayor, that Mr. Smith says that these people, owners of these properties, have just walked away from them.
Yeah, we've had no response from some of these, so that's why we've taken the action to go in and secure it. Metro calls us when these buildings become vacant. They vacate the buildings based on these people aren't paying rent, they're occupying these buildings illegally. Metro clears them out. Then we go in, we do the emergency boarding on them to secure them to prevent any other action from taking place at these sites.
Okay, Councilman Wilson?
Do we give these property owners any notice about our ability to fine them, in addition to all of the recovering of the nuisance costs and abatement, the $500 a day fines? Because I wonder what some of these people would do if they were put on notice early on that this council could impose $500 a day penalties. Maybe they'd be a little bit more responsive.
That is in our notice and order that they receive, and it's actually recorded against the property. All that verbiage is on that notice and order that at your discretion, the council can impose those fines.
And some of these people, they still get the notice of order and ignore it?
Yes.
Okay.
This notice and order was recorded back in December.
And what was the value of this property?
$535,000.
As of September 2004, it was $405,000.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Yes, please.
I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation, but also adding a $500 fine retroactively back till, when did you say we could start it?
This case actually started in October of last year.
October of last year.
The notice and order was recorded in December. That's when the official notice that was filed against the property to let them know that we would be moving forward.
And that would follow through into an infinity until we reach the appraised value of the property.
Very good. That's the motion. Let's vote. Maybe we'll teach some lessons here. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Again, Mayor, if I may, I just got a phone call this morning from the Metro officer in the area that we have another building in that area that's going to be the same type of situation. So
we'll own a lot of buildings in the area. Item 46 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance regarding a dangerous building and assess civil penalties located at 6225 Bellata Drive. The property owner is, pardon me, Avelina A. Padua. This is in Ward 5. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager, Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation, started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired CH Construction to board and secure units B and D, all windows, doors, openings to exterior walls and exterior walls to the City of Las Vegas specification and post no trespassing signs on site. To date, there have been 6 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date, September 2004, was $405,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses in the amount of $3,704.35 for work completed by CH Construction and to include civil penalties and reinspection fees.
All right, thank you. Any questions to Mr. Smith? Folks, public hearing?
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. This gets more interesting by the minute. It's conceivable that you will own a great many properties. And you'll also be responsible for the taxes on all of them, which is probably why the original owners abandoned them. However, your process of, if it occurs to you, auctioning those properties off early on will provide you with plenty of wherewithal now to meet the tax load on the remainder of the properties you go along. So it could be a win-win situation, depending upon what you do with the properties and where they are located. If they are broadly dispersed, you may have a NIMBY issue as you go along. But if somebody is who's qualified and seriously interested is available to do the rehabilitation in an aesthetic manner and a worthwhile community-based manner, so that it adds to the value of the properties in the surrounding area, you really have something that could go national. And I recommend that you think nationally at the earliest opportunity, because there may be money available in the federal government's coffers to help you along with this process. Why not? It's our country, isn't it? Called America. Thank you.
Anybody else, please?
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Arnold Stock, 8100 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 200. Metro Development Group is my company. We're local developers, and SHARE is my nonprofit housing corporation. And I'd like to thank Mr. McGowan for the unsolicited words to me. And I was totally unaware of this action, but I can't speak for myself and other developers in Las Vegas that I think would be pleased to be involved with this in any way that we can. It's an eyesore that could be turned into a really good thing. And I've developed affordable housing for 34 years, and so I'm deeply involved with several different organizations and nonprofits and have been in Southern Nevada. So I just put my name forward. If anybody wants us to help, we'd be glad to. I've worked with Devin before on other things, so thank you.
Mr. Stock, if I could, please.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Have you got that illegal trader out of that location on St. Louis yet?
Today.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions?
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else like to be heard? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd follow staff's recommendation for this item as well as we did on item 45, with all comments on item 45 put on this item as well.
With a $500 a day
Yes.
fine going
Yes.
retrospectively and prospectively.
Yes.
Very good. Let's vote. Post. Motion carries. Item 47 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance and assess civil penalties located at 6241 Bellata Drive. The property owner is Bank of New York, TRS. This is in Ward 5.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager, Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Disaster Cleanup of Nevada to repair and paint the dumpster enclosures. To date, there have been 10 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of May 2008 was $356,375. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses in in the amount of $2,977.75 for work completed by Disaster Cleanup of Nevada.
Well, this one here, it looks like it's owned by a bank. And I would assume the bank is able to respond in damages.
Your Honor, if I may, we've started notification on this and have had contact with and sent letters to the bank, and we've had no response.
Where's the bank located?
Simi Valley, California.
Okay. All right, we'll hear public comment, public hearing now, and then I have a suggestion. Yes.
Very brief. Bank New York, TRS, what does TRS mean?
Trustees.
Are they still in business?
Don't know.
Well, how many banks are still in business so far?
All but one.
All except what? So many a day. The prospect, the projection is, and it's conservative, 300 banks in the next several years will go under. We don't know who they are. And some people don't care, but I do care, because a bank failure of that magnitude will be very serious consequences for everything at every level in this country, particularly at the government level. Because you got to think about your revenue, you got to think about the public's mood, which will become completely discombobulated as time goes along, unless we still have Devin Smith around to keep things in order. But the point being here, that bank may not be in existence at all, and may not have been for quite some time. So there's no need to wait and be polite about it. Just enforce, use your power, and understand that you're living in a different world than it was a year ago. Thank you.
Anybody else like to be heard? All right, Mayor Pro Tem?
Your Honor, before you
Yes.
ask,
Councilor
sorry to interrupt, Mayor Pro Tem.
No problem.
This is the third building on the same street. And I think your thoughts and the direction that the city needs to go concerning this area needs to be swift and thought-provoking in regards to how do we prevent this from happening anywhere else in the city. We need to come down hard on these property owners. We need to do what we need to do as a government to protect this neighborhood and to protect the surrounding neighborhoods around these couple of blocks. And I don't know how to do that, but I just see a huge sense of urgency in getting the point across and getting it out there quickly. We're not going to tolerate this as a government.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a suggestion. I think that we'll address that to some extent after there's a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem. Did you want to be heard, Mr. Redler?
No. Next case for me.
Okay, fine. Anybody else want to be heard on the public hearing? We'll close the public hearing then.
Your Honor, I make the same motion on item 47 we made on item 45 and 46.
Okay, with the retroactive and prospective, very good. Let's vote. Post. Motion carries. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Smith, to get me contact information regarding the bank to figure out how much money they owe us now based on the Mayor Pro Tem's motion, which just passed, on the retroactive part. And I'm going to call the bank president and tell him that he better deed it over to us, or else we'll show him who the boss is.
I will have a complete report printed out for you, showing you the daily cost and where we're at now, and retroactive up until what date, and I'll have that up to your office by Friday.
That's terrific. Thank you. Okay. Very good. Item 48 is a hearing to consider the appeal regarding a 10-day vacate nuisance notice and order to comply located at 121 North 21st Street. The property owners are William and Concepcion P. Falla, and this is in Ward 6. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the subject property was determined to be a public nuisance as defined in Las Vegas Municipal Code, Title 904.010, dealing with nuisances, and Section 202 of the Uniform Housing Code. A 10-day notice to vacate in order to comply was mailed to the property owner to correct the public nuisance as defined in the Las Vegas Municipal Code, Title 9.04.010, dealing with nuisances, in Section 202 of the Uniform Housing Code. A copy of the notice was also posted on the property. Today's hearing is to consider the appeal of the 10-day notice to vacate and notice in order to comply filed by William H. Falla, owner and responsible party. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the 10-day vacate notice in order to comply.
Your Honor, if I could, please. Ms. Bridges, in our agenda that goes out, it says Ward 3, and in our agenda books, it says Ward 6. It's in Ward 3.
It's Ward 3.
Yes. If we make that correction, please. Thank you.
Mr. Redline, did you want to be heard?
I'm not sure Mr. Smith needs any help. He's kind of on a roll this morning, but Mr. Falla did file an appeal, so I sort of expected to see him here, and there is the interesting issue that we were consulted about whether or not a house has to be hooked up to the electrical grid. And Mr. Smith's action here is correct. The Uniform Housing Code requires it. We have adopted the Uniform Housing Code. If you're within 300 feet of available electricity, you have to be hooked up. Failure to comport with the Uniform Housing Code is a nuisance. You've declared it to be a nuisance in the municipal code. You've made it criminal to engage in a nuisance by a housing violation in the municipal code. So the order to vacate is entirely proper. If we don't have Mr. Falla here, I urge you to follow the recommendation. Mr. Falla, in his appeal, I can tell you, said he's working on getting it fixed up.
Well, it's my understanding that Mr. Falla was stealing electricity from the neighbors.
I had heard that when he was cut off, he duked into the neighbor's house and was stealing electricity from them, and when the power company found out about it, they came and extracted his meter, so now he faces a little bit more expense to get hooked up again.
Yes.
And, Mayor, if I may, just for your information, he also has roommates that he's allowing to live in this residence where there is no power. I believe that's why he's having a hard time getting the power turned back on, because he was stealing it from his own meter, and then when that was found out that he was stealing power from his own, then he started stealing it from the neighbors. So I don't know that the power company's real eager to work with him.
What did the fire chief say a car heats up to in this kind of weather?
About 180 degrees.
180 degrees? Well, Mr. Falla and his friends maybe roasted Falla.
Well, the request today is the order to vacate. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you follow the recommendation of staff, they're going to be out of there, and they won't be back in until they settle their business with the power company.
When can we get them out?
As soon as you approve this, the 10-day vacate notice was posted prior to this. He filed the appeal. No action's been taken. As soon as you approve it, we can do a 24-hour vacate on the property.
I sort of like the idea of keeping them in.
Putting the boards up without asking them to leave?
I would like to get them out as soon as possible.
I will have that posted if you approve this, I will have it posted today with a 24-hour vacate notice, and we'll take whatever action necessary.
Your Honor, I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation, and that is ASAP.
All right, let's vote, please. Post.
Thanks, Devin.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 49 is a report and possible action related to the Las Vegas Strategic Plan Priority Roman numeral 8 concerning revitalize and invigorate mature areas in the urban core. I think that's very relevant and pertinent in view of the last four items we've discussed. Mr. Adams.
Okay, I'm waiting for the PowerPoint to come up here. This is this year's report on strategic goal number 8, which is the revitalize and invigorate the mature areas in the urban core. If you remember, I've been providing you key performance indicators annually, select key performance indicators that kind of give you a thumbnail view of just how the core area, in this case, we've defined the core area as the redevelopment area, is performing. And we're using exactly the same indicators that we previously used so that you can see how we're progressing year by year. This first one is one that we put together in our office. It's done very meticulously. We produce a report that's a line-item report in every project that's completed, under construction, or planned. Our rule for inclusion in this is it's either entitled or it's under a development agreement. It's one of the two, and that's how it gets in the report. And this shows you the trends that have occurred in both projects under construction, the value under construction, and those planned. Those are things in the pipeline. Again, those are things that either have been entitled by you or approved under a development agreement by you. And it shows from May of '06 to May of '07 a big drop in planned development, and that was attributed to the REI Neon project. But then we saw the planned activity come back up in '08 from '06. Now, if you take $10 billion out, we had a healthy increase from '06 to '08, represented by about $5 billion in new projects coming online in the pipeline. And under construction is dropped a little bit from '07 to '08. I'll drill down into these in detail. These are the key new construction investments that are represented in the construction numbers. You can kind of see these. It's very obvious when you go out into the landscape, out in the street, that this activity's occurred. We're looking at things like Allure, Bank of America, the remodeling of the El Cortez, Golden Nugget, Jewel. So there's some very large projects that are either completed or possibly wrapping up construction. But then, as I mentioned, even though we lost REI Neon project, which was $10 billion of entitlements, we've realized a gain in some other projects in the pipeline, and these are very substantial projects individually. The Charlie Palmer Hotel in Union Park, Siam Post Office project, which you just approved, Forest City Live Work, the Grand Central Hotel, Newlands Block F, the Performing Arts Center, Parcel PQ in Union Park, which is part of the Live Work project, and the World Jewelry Center. Another category we're going to pull out and start to feature because we thought it was significant is the fact that we're seeing a significant level of activity in cultural facilities, and with in particular the downtown area becoming an enhanced cultural center. So we pulled out the Performing Arts Center, the Mob Museum as part of the CIM project, and then the Fifth Street School, which we reported on earlier, is just wrapping up. This is probably the most significant trend of activity in the RDA, and in particular in downtown, as it tracks the value, the taxable value of downtown. And it's a hard number that we've got because the RDA is pulled out by the assessor, and we've tracked its value because, as you know, the way tax increment financing works, there's a base year that's established when we establish the redevelopment area, and then we're able to determine based on that base year how that value is increased year by year. And this shows huge year-over-year increases from 2003, 2004 to present. But I think the interesting thing, if you look at this, I ran another statistic. If you take where we're at now at $1.7 billion in 08-09 against where we started 5 years ago in 03-04, it's a 370% increase. These are annual increases year over year, but if you look at it over that 5-year time period, it's been a 370% increase. We've almost realized a quadrupling of the value of the redevelopment area over a 5-year period. Investment in the redevelopment area, we continue. Again, we have another report where we painstakingly have gone back to the inception of the RDA, tracked both public investment and private investment in the RDA. And that's, the public investment is that, it's a little bit of a value judgment here that we believe to be that was invested for the purpose of redevelopment, or it can be, there's a strong rational nexus to redevelopment, so that we could get a ratio of public to private investment. This gives you a really good handle on what our return on that public investment's been in the redevelopment area. And it shows, actually the second line there, bonds and projects, is that which is proposed.
And that first line to date is what we've actually realized. And it shows that that ratio of private to public is going to increase. That we, again, and I think I reported this previously last year, that in a redevelopment program, in the early years, you wait for that return on investment that you make, and then at some point you start to turn the corner and that return on investment gets greater. There's some interesting, don't try to correlate, for example, these private numbers with the ones that I previously showed. We've gone through and eliminated double counting. For example, the Performing Arts Center project has both public and private dollars in it. There's a public investment in it represented by the bond issue that we would issue for the rental car tax, and then there's a big private component that they're privately raising that goes into that project. So we've gone in and very carefully made that split between public and private in these numbers to get you, overall, when you look at it over time, when you look at what we've already incurred and what's in the pipeline, we're going to realize about almost a 30-to-1 ratio of private to public investment in the redevelopment area. And then, I think this is my last slide. This shows population change. This is another very high-level indicator that is one that is indicative of the health of a core area of a community. You generally find many core areas in communities, especially when you get into older cities. As cities mature, you realize more suburbanization, people out-migrate to the suburbs, and the core areas of your community tend to decline. And so monitoring the population change of that core area is important, an important indicator of its health. And we saw a drop from 05 to 06, or I'm sorry, well, no, actually it's gone up every year. I think what we've done on the footnotes here is try to project the impact of the new condo towers that we've experienced downtown will have on that population. We know there's 1,225 units. They are just all now starting to sell through and become occupied. And just using rough assumptions, and we figure if just a little over a third, 35% are occupied, and they are occupied at 1.5 persons per household, that'll continue to drive up our population numbers in the core city. The other thing that this is an indicator of is, if you look at this is the entire RDA, and there's some areas in the RDA where we've realized over a period of time, and this is what you've seen in a lot of older core cities, a lot of loss of housing stock and thus population as a result of blighted property removal. And so by having a constant or increasing population means that blighted and removed housing stock, which normally would result in a decrease in population, is being replaced with new housing somewhere in the redevelopment area. Either higher density housing, new single-family housing, but that housing stock continues to be replaced as we go along. So this is another good indicator, I think, of the economic health of the redevelopment area. So those are there weren't very many indicators. They're the same ones we've presented to you before, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions of Mr. Adams?
Mr. Adams, is Ward 1 considered part of the urban core? They tell me it is.
Well, we've defined it, and I was clear to say that this is the redevelopment area as defined, as we've designated it. There's a small part of Ward 1 included in the redevelopment area.
Where is that small part?
I don't have the map.
Is that the part you're calling where Treasures is?
Generally in that area, yes. And it probably would be an area that...
we have 2 voters in that area?
Yeah, I was just going to make the comment that we don't have much, to my knowledge, just off the top of my head, residential population in the portion of Ward 1 that's in the RDA.
The problem I have, and I think this work you've done in revitalizing and invigorating the urban area is truly excellent. I think it's magnificent what you've done, but there are 3 wards in what we consider our urban core area, as I've been told anyway, and Ward 1 isn't receiving any of this assistance. And I know I've talked with you before, and I urge you again to find means by which we can give some assistance to Ward 1, because we have decaying areas, we have almost negligible roof tax monies, if any at all, and we do need help. Thank you.
Just for the public's benefit and to answer the question specifically, I've got a map on the overhead. All of the shaded areas, they're in different colors that represent the different periods in time in which these areas came into the redevelopment area. All these colored areas are the Las Vegas redevelopment area.
If I could. Mr. Adams, would it be possible for us to enlarge the redevelopment area?
Yes, in fact, I
would love to work with Councilwoman Tarkanian and figure out which areas she would like to see in the redevelopment area ASAP, and see if we can enlarge into her district, because I realize, understand the need that she has, and I support it 1,000%. So I know I would certainly appreciate a meeting with you and Councilman Tarkanian, if possible, and yourself, and just see what areas you'd like to see put into the redevelopment area and work towards that goal.
We are, as we speak, currently evaluating where to expand to. We just completed an expansion about 2 years ago, and as a result of some community neighborhood meetings, we think there's the opportunity to expand further. I would caution you that you just can't put anything in the redevelopment area. It has to be documented as slum and blighted. So we're going to have to go through a process of identifying and documenting that those areas are blighted before they can actually be brought in.
That's why I said we need to have a meeting and work with you.
Certainly would love to do that.
Councilwoman?
I think that's excellent. Thank you.
Oh, have we written REI off?
No, but I guess maybe that was a value judgment on our part. It's still entitled, I guess, marginally, and I think we've deleted it from the report. It's such a large number, it's somewhat misleading in our statistics to have a $10 billion number in there when, at this point, it doesn't appear the project has a significant chance of going forward, and so we've deleted it. Now, it's still entitled, and according to our strict rules, we could keep it in, but it's such a big number, it makes the statistics very misleading.
Very good. Okay. The record should reflect, however, that we, as recently as within the past 2 weeks, have met with the principals of REI, and they continue to at least represent to us that they're trying to move forward.
Yes.
I understand, Your Honor, that the San Diego Chargers want to come to town or something.
Well, we're not going to go there yet. We're not going there. Okay, any other questions?
Just one last thing, and that
Yes.
is, could you give me the definition then before we meet of what blighted is so that I can look at
There's
my work?
pretty clear language in the statute that
thank you.
defines what they mean.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much for the report. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Honor, I move to accept the report.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Item 50 will be trailed to be heard after items 93 through 95.
Those items will be heard at 1 o'clock.
Yes, and those will be heard at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Item 51 is discussion and possible action regarding temporary change of business name and change of ownership for a beer, wine cooler on-sale license subject to the provisions of the Planning and Fire Codes and Health Department regulations from Joey's Investment Group, LLC, doing business as Joey's Only Seafood Restaurant, to Minju, Inc., doing business as Sato Seafood and Grill at 7450 West Cheyenne Avenue, Suite 108 in Ward 4. Ms. Meyer.
Good morning, Mayor, members of council. Carol Meyer, Finance and Business Services. The applicant that we have before us on this agenda item has met our criteria for consideration of approval of a temporary change of business name and change of ownership for a beer, wine cooler on-sale license, and my recommendation would be approval subject to all conditions.
Thank you. Is the applicant present?
I do not see him.
All All right, very good.
Okay.
Are you the applicant, sir? Why don't you step up and tell us your name, please?
Thank you, Mayor and the councilors. My name is Michael Shin, and I planning to open the business in the same location. There used to be the Joyce Only Seafoods, and I think that's a great area, and we can provide great service and great taste in those areas.
This is a chance for free advertisement, sir. What's your specialty?
My specialty, sir?
Yes.
It's, I think, great food.
Just great food in general.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm always interested in that. Thank you. Okay, Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to follow staff recommendation for approval.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Item 52 is discussion and possible action regarding temporary approval of a new package license and a new beer, wine, cordial, liqueur tasting license, Unwind LLC, doing business as Unwind, at 6485 North Decatur Boulevard in Suite 140. This is in Ward 6.
Mayor and members of council, again, the applicant that we have before us today has met our criteria for consideration of temporary approval for the new package license and also the beer, wine, cordial, liqueur tasting license. And my recommendation would be approval subject to all conditions.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mayor and council people. My name is Cherie Shumsker, 8826 Arroyo Azul, managing member Unwind LLC, opening up the Unwind store, and I thank you for your consideration.
Okay, any specialties you want to tell us about?
Wine?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, any other questions? All right, Councilman Ross?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move to follow staff's recommendation for approval.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item 53 is discussion and possible action regarding temporary approval of a new massage establishment license, Athena Peruse, doing business as Phoenix Massage at 2901 El Camino Avenue in Suite 100. This is an ancillary license to Diorio Chiropractic. Ms. Meyer.
Mayor, members of council, Carol Meyer, Finance and Business Services. Again, just to put on the record that this is an ancillary use establishment. It will operate the same hours of operation as the chiropractic clinic, and it is just one room. The applicant that we have has met our criteria for consideration for temporary approval, and my recommendation would be approval subject to all conditions.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Council. My name is Athena Peruzzi. I'm the massage therapist applying for the application for massage establishment as well as a independent license.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right, Councilwoman.
Move to approve staff's recommendation.
Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Item 54 is discussion and possible action regarding a 90-day review of temporary approval of change of location for a tavern license from Dominic L. Laino, doing business as Club 2100 at 2100 Fremont Street. This is in Ward 3. Mr. DiFiore.
Mayor, members of the council, we're here today for a 90-day review of the Club 2100 tavern license. Mr. Lano was approved on a temporary basis 90 days ago with the condition that there would be no live entertainment. We have had no problems with the operation of the business, and we're seeking direction from the City Council today on how they want to move forward on this.
Thank you, Mr. Lano.
Hi, my name is Dominic Lano. I'd like to thank Mr. DiFiore and Business Licensing for all their help, as well as Mr. Reese. I'd like to ask for approval for live music.
Okay, what kind of music are you talking about?
Live music, live bands at least once a week. I spoke to Mr. Reese.
Right now, Your Honor, if I could.
Yes.
Mr. Lano's only been open, I think he said Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights.
Correct. I plan on expanding more days as we go on. We've been open 3 weeks now, so we're adding days as we're open.
That's why I have a hard time with these 90-day reviews. They should be from the time they open, and then go 90 days. He's only been open 3 weeks, so of course we're not going to have any problems yet. I would Well, this is a public hearing. Go ahead.
Okay, no, it's not.
I would move to approve live music one night a week, Saturday night, and I would like to have the music stop at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll have another 6-month review from this date.
That's the motion. Let's vote, please. All right, quickly, please.
This is just a back.
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident, lifelong professional musician. There is a need for entertainment at 2100. 2100 is an example, a perfect example of a musical venue, of a supper club type of establishment. Long previously that was known, and it should have been done a long time ago. It is essential that you have music there because it will act as the eastern gateway of that portion of the Fremont Corridor and Charleston, and it will energize anything that is able to then fill in the gap between that and the Fremont East District Downtown Entertainment Overlay District. So I agree and concur with the Mayor Pro Tem Reese's recommendation and motion that it would be on a one-day basis initially, and based upon the progress that it perhaps proceed from there and enlarge. I'm sure it'll be very successful. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's vote on the motion, please. Post? Motion carries. When will the music begin?
Next Saturday, a week from this week.
Saturday night, what time?
Probably around 8 p.m.
Do you have any idea who will be playing?
I'm not sure yet. I have a couple people in mind.
Okay, good. Good luck to you. Okay, item 55 is discussion, possible action regarding a review of a beer, wine cooler on sale license for Six Tables, Inc., doing business at Six Tables at 2110 North Rampart Boulevard, Suite 110. This is in Ward 4. Mr. DeFiore.
Mayor, members of the council, we're here for a review today only because there is one issue that was developed as an area of concern in the Metro report provided by the Metropolitan Police Department. Ms. Levy is here today to answer any questions you may have, but the concern that we have at the present time is her husband, Roland Levy, is now attempting to seek citizenship here in the United States. He's been in the United States since 1974, and I believe married to Ms. Levy since 1997, but there has been some difficulty in him obtaining citizenship, and they have hired a law firm to represent them in trying to achieve this task. I'm going to recommend to the council today that we approve the permanent license for Six Tables, but with a 6-month review on the status of the citizenship and the progress being made at this point in time.
All right, thank you. Ms. Levy?
Yes, I'm Gail Levy, owner of Six Tables Restaurant at 2110 Rampart Boulevard, and I'm here with hopes to have my beer, wine, liquor, or not liquor, cooler on sale license. So.
All right, are there any questions of either Mr. DeFiore or Ms. Levy? I'll say I ate there, and it was delicious.
Thank you.
The food was exquisite. The service was great. A very nice experience. But I am going to vote anyhow.
Thank you.
All right, Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move for approval, subject to staff conditions as amended.
Let's vote, please. Post. Motion
Thank
carries.
you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, 56 is discussion and possible action regarding temporary approval of a new non-restricted gaming license subject to the provisions of the Planning and Fire Codes and approval by the Nevada Gaming Commission for Brandy Wine Bookmaking LLC, doing business as Lucky's at 1 South Main Street, and this is in Ward 5. Mr. DeFiore.
Mayor, members of the council, the applicant today does meet the criteria for consideration of temporary approval, and the temporary approval would be contingent upon Nevada Gaming Commission approval, which I believe they're due to go before the Nevada Gaming Commission tomorrow.
No, it's next week.
Next week, okay. So we would approve it subject to confirmation of approval by the Nevada Gaming Commission.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yes. I am Chaz Rainey. Mayor, council members, I'm Chaz Rainey of the Rainey Legal Group here on behalf of Brandy Wine Bookmaking today. Our Director of Operations, Joe Brutaloni, is here in the crowd. And we are simply asking for temporary approval at this time for the operation of a race book and sports pool at the Plaza Hotel and Casino.
Is there one opening, is there one open now?
There is one there now. We will be taking over operations, making a few, actually, I think, I haven't seen the actual plans yet, but there will be renovations to the race and sports book, new television sets, upgraded fixtures and furnishings.
I will tell you that it used to be the classic race and sports book many years ago with some of the best people in the business being behind the counter there, Johnny Quinn and Richie Jacobs. These were names that any degenerate bettor like myself would recognize immediately, and it'd be good to put some color back there.
Is this where you got your habit?
Is where I got my habit when I was, I think in second grade, betting on 3 ball players to get 6 hits in one day, and paid 6 to 1, paid a dime to the fellow who was hanging out around the schoolyard. It was a good thing in those days. I used to hang around the schoolyard to take advantage of young boys who had betting habits instead of the way they hang around the schoolyards today, but that's okay. All right, sorry, you just had to start with me.
Good.
Okay. For Councilman Barlow.
Yes, on behalf of Councilman Barlow, I move to follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item, please, with all conditions.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Item 57 is discussion and possible action regarding a one-year review of a psychic art and science license for Lorraine Marks, doing business as Ms. Laurie at 425 Fremont Street. This is in Ward 3. Steve Fiore.
Mayor, members of the council, council had asked for a one-year review of the permanent license for Ms. Marks doing business as Psychic Experience at the 425 Fremont Street. We have had no concerns or issues. There are conditions that are on the license relative to the charges, and I would like to recommend to the council that we have these conditions be maintained, imposed on the license, and that there would be no further reviews unless there are some concerns that are brought to our attention for us to bring it back to the council.
All right, thank you. Ms. Marks?
Fine, just came for my review.
Okay. I always have to ask you a question. Who do you like in the All-Star game, American or National League?
Say that again?
Who do you like in the All-Star game, the American or the National League?
Which year? American.
The American? You won. It was played last night.
Really?
Yeah.
I just went by my instinct.
You felt it? Okay.
I just felt it.
Very good. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, I move to follow staff's recommendation with all conditions.
All right, let's vote. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Right. Item 58 will be trailed to be heard after items 93 and 95 at 1 o'clock today. 59 is an abeyance item. It's a report by the Nevada Department of Transportation on the status of the I-15 North Design Build Project in Ward 5. Mr. Cervantes?
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Jorge Cervantes, Department of Public Works. This is a presentation by the Nevada Department of Transportation to give y'all an update of where they are with their I-15 Design Build project. This is the widening I-15 from US 95 to Craig. And today we have a couple of representatives from MnDOT, Jeff Hale and Lucy Melcher, who will be providing this report.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. My presentation up. Presentation available. There we go. Just a quick briefing this morning about the I-15 North project, which if anybody's driven in the north part of the valley on I-15, you've seen the construction going on up there. The current status of the project is that the contract was executed on September 6, 2007. Next slide, please. Thank you. Anyway, the construction contract was executed September 6, 2007. Design's going to be complete in September, totally complete in September of 2008. Construction's already underway, and we're working south from Craig Road down through the Cheyenne area with total project completion March of 2010. Here's a brief overlook of the area that's impacting the city of Las Vegas area. You can see we're going to be widening from 6 to 10 lanes between the Spaghetti Bowl and Lake Mead. We've got a D to F connector where we're cutting off access underneath the freeway along F Street. That'll be constructed beginning in March. That's going to provide additional or improved access down into the 61-acre area in downtown. So right now, with the traffic control revision that we just entered into this week, we're going to be demolishing the Bonanza, Washington, and D Street bridges here in the next 2 weeks or so. We'll move all the traffic over onto the southbound side and begin demolition of those bridges. The traffic control revision that we've just done, we're squeezing the freeway down from 3 lanes down to 2 lanes in each direction. That's going to help facilitate some very aggressive construction activities. We're going to be doing the bridge reconstruction and rebuilding all the pavements within the area as well. As we move into the construction sequence that we're in now, you'll see the northbound Washington D Street Bonanza bridges become rubble, marine habitat, if you will. In 6 months, hopefully those will be reconstructed. Then we'll switch everything over to the new bridges on the northbound side, and then repeat the demolition and reconstruction on the southbound side. And then reconstruct the pavements, build the new D to F connector, and open everything back up. This current lane reduction will be in place about 13 months. So life will get a lot better. I know it's going to be really tough, at least for a while in there. Monday night, we reduced a lane from Spaghetti Bowl to Lake Mead in the southbound direction. This week, they're doing some prep work to close the northbound lane and then move everything over to the southbound side. The northbound I-515 to 95 ramp is going to close for this period. We have alternate routes set up along Las Vegas Boulevard, and then if you miss that or go on through the Spaghetti Bowl, you can get access up into the north through Rancho. 13-month duration. Again, at the end of 13 months, things are going to be looking up. In advance of implementing this plan, we developed a traffic and incident management plan. We were in cooperation with FAST, RTC, and Metro, NHP, and North Las Vegas Emergency Service Providers. We have a very comprehensive plan about what to do if accidents occur. Should they occur in that really tight area, we've got some protocols, communication protocols set up, and what to do depending on the severity of the incidents. We've got some alternative routes for the freeway traffic should incident require complete closure. Got some staging areas for media and emergency vehicles, procedures for what to do, how to access the incidents from both directions. Also, in advance of this major revision that we just did, we got together with FAST and we asked them the question, is this something that can possibly work? Are there any fatal flaws? Can the local arterials in the north part of the valley absorb the increased travel demand? The answer was yes, and they came up with a very good plan to modify the signal timing on the available routes, the arterials, to help pump traffic down into and access 95 and 515. They are going to be continuously monitoring that and performing adjustments. There might be the need to maybe close off some left turn movements along those routes, but what the benefits are, the payoff, is that we're going to have a completely reconstructed main line open in August. It's actually March. We improved the date by 5 months. But the mainline lanes, by closing down an additional lane, is actually going to open up those mainline lanes 12 months earlier than planned. We would have had 22 months of intensive construction going on in that Lake Mead to Spaghetti Bowl area. Mainline bridges will be completely reconstructed, and the overall project date completion is expedited by 5 months, and it really helps us in our quality and constructability. We've had a very intensive public outreach campaign over the last few weeks. We've been in the newspaper, radio, television, trying to get the word out, what we have coming up and what we're implementing this week. There's been community notices, flyers, that type of thing. We've performed outreach to the trucking transport industry. People have gone out there and given notices to the truck stops as far out as Mesquite. telling them of the closure and advising of some alternate routes. We've had media outreach. You've probably seen the fast signs up. They've had the message that the northbound lane will be closed on Friday night. Southbound lane was going to be down on last Monday, 2 nights ago. We have a project website. It is very good in keeping up on what's happening. We have all the traffic alerts, what the planned improvements are. You can access the fast cam so you can take a look at what traffic is looking like, and then a project map. So what we're really trying to do here, and I know it's painful, but we're minimizing the impact to the surrounding community. We're light years ahead of the 95 project. If you compare it to that, we'll be done in a little under 2 years with this thing, and we think we've been able to speed up and deliver these improvements much more expeditiously than normal. There's our website. We have our project hotline. Call anytime if you have questions about any closures or what might be happening within the project, and we'll take care of it. Thank you for your time. Any
Thank
questions?
you. Memories are short. How long did it take us to do 95?
I think overall it was about 10 years.
And we're going to do this in 2?
The contract duration is for 3, and we're already a year into it, so we got 2 left.
And basically, we know what the improvement has been with 95. It's just been phenomenal as far as
That's right.
driving towards that part of the town. And I assume that this will open up the highways enough that we'll have that same experience when we go down.
That's right. At any time of day prior to the project starting in the Cheyenne area, congestion would break or become critical, and flows would break down, and that's going to be free flow, very much like what you see on 95.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Councilman Ross.
Thank you. This, Your Honor, is directed at our Director of Communications, Mr. Riggleman.
Mr. Riggleman? Yes. Councilman Ross wanted to ask you a question.
Fire away, sir. Sorry.
Are we doing our part with Channel 2? And I know he's brought us a nice map of alternative routes for people throughout the valley, not just in the city of Las Vegas, to take. Are we doing our part with Channel 2 and public service announcements to help NDOT get this message out?
Sure, Councilman. In fact, one of the things we're doing is even as you walk across the Skyway, we have easels set up with some of the project information on it as you even walk into City Hall. But as far as putting information on television, we're always in the process of doing that. As we get the updates, their public information office is always sending the information out, and we try to update it on our community billboard as best we can.
Thank you, Your Honor, for letting me ask Mr. Riggleman that question, because this is a regional issue, and I think we all need to participate on a regional level with NDOT in making this happen. Do me a favor and express to your boss, Susan Martinovich, my thanks for helping with the 3rd temporary lane in the northwest on US 95. Mm-hmm. Major difference out there. People are recognizing that.
That's
so
good.
Appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Councilman Mayor, with your indulgence, we also have links on our website, Councilman, as well, that update our traffic as well.
All right. Thank you for coming down and making the report. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, no motion is required, but we do appreciate it. Item number 60 is a discussion and possible action on a request to install speed humps on 15th Street between Sahara Avenue and St. Louis Avenue. This is in Ward 3. Mr. Cervantes?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We received the request to look at speed humps on 15th Street between Sahara and St. Louis. Our studies indicated that we have about 820 cars a day using this section of 15th. The 85th percentile speed is 35 miles per hour, where the speed limit is 25, and this is not an emergency response route.
Good. Okay.
With all that said, Your Honor, there's been a couple different requests for speed humps on 15th Street. It is kind of a main thoroughfare, cut through traffic from St. Louis to Sahara. It's much needed, and I would move to approve this item and ask staff if they can't get these speed humps in next week.
We'll direct our contractor to get out there as soon as he can.
That's great. All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Item 61 is R44-2008, discussion and possible action concerning resolution and notice regarding the granting of a telecommunications service franchise to AGL Networks, LLC, setting the purpose, character, term, time, and conditions of the proposed franchise agreement. I think the city attorney will be making this presentation or not?
We are not, Your Honor, but I was at the briefings yesterday. I understand that it's an order and the staff has recommended approval, but I am not familiar with the item other than that.
Okay. Dr. Selby, would you like to comment?
It is a standard agreement. We have a number of these agreements already in place, and it's
with a gas company, but they're wanting to install telecommunication facilities. In briefings, the question was brought up about making sure that council members get adequate notice of construction of these kind of facilities within neighborhoods, and we've already given a directive to Public Works to undertake that notification.
Very good, thank you. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Your Honor. With those comments, may I move to follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item?
Very good.
With all conditions.
Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 62 is the Audit Oversight Committee. The terms of Michael W. Kern, Paul Workman, and Jose Troncoso expire August the 18th of 2008. It's recommended that we either reappoint Mr. Kern or appoint a new member to fill his seat, the same thing as to Mr. Workman or Mr. Troncoso. Councilman Brown and Councilman Wolfson are on the Audit Oversight Committee. It would appear that all three members asked that they be reappointed, and from every indication that I've heard from Councilman Brown and Councilman Wolfson, they're doing a terrific job. So at this time, I would move to appoint them to remain in their seat. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, bill number 2008-29. This is an annexation, number ANX 27333, property located on the southwest corner of Jones Boulevard and Elkhorn Road. Councilwoman, do you wish to have it read?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Councilwoman. Bill number 28-29, in order to expand the boundaries of the city, to prescribe the line to be annexed, to make some happen subject to the laws, obligations, and benefits of the city, and provide for other related matters.
Thank you. Councilwoman, your motion, please.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. 64 is bill number 2008-30, updates provisions of the city's sign regulations relating to enforcement remedies and penalties. Do you wish to have it read?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Bill number 28-30, in order to update provisions of the city sign regulations relating to enforcement remedies and penalties, and provide for other related matters.
Fine. Councilwoman, your motion.
Your Honor, if I could?
Yes, please.
Excuse me, Councilwoman. Mr. Jervik, could you explain the changes being made? Mr. Sill and I think Mr. Steed have been working on these items. Your Honor, I don't know about everybody else's ward, but in my ward, I have these pooper scooper signs, and we'll buy houses, and we have different casinos putting up their signs on all over the telephone poles, any kind of pole, wherever they can find a place to hang them, they hang them. And we spend a lot of time and effort. Staff does a great job going out and removing the signs as soon as they get a call to take them down. But you take one sign down and three pop up tomorrow. In my briefing on Monday, I mentioned to Councilman Tarquini, I went out across Jones, and we was talking about this just for a second, and I says there's even a lot of the signs out there on Jones. You know, I mean, they're all over. And what I felt like we need to do is we need to make it worthwhile to take the signs down, because we are in a budget crunch. And if we haven't been able to fine people for putting the signs up. And I think with this, I hope, with the changes being made in this ordinance, that we will be able to bring some people to court and make them pay some of the expenses that we're incurring in taking the signs down.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Steed?
Yes, let me review those changes. One of them was in response to some feedback we got that many people who were having signs put up by someone else were then disclaiming responsibility for it. So this provides for an adjustment to the presumption about whether someone has been responsible for putting up a sign. That presumption won't be as strong, will be stronger in an administrative proceeding that we have for sign issues. It also allows removal on shorter notice for certain types of signs that are not as permanent. Right up until now, we had to give at least 10 days notice to remove a sign, and this allows for a shorter time where circumstances indicate. There's also an alternative that if our staff and the attorney's office feels that some types of signs are better pursued by means of a civil proceeding rather than a criminal proceeding, then we're able to make that choice, and the same types of penalties will be available on a civil basis, the kinds of penalties that you impose with nuisance proceedings. those are the changes that are being made in this ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman, your motion, please?
It was moved to approve with a thank you to Councilman Reese for the hard work he did in trying to work this one out.
Well, you know, I have tried over and over again to get somebody in court, and I would just ask the Attorney's Office to report back to the council members the first time we find somebody for putting up these illegal signs.
We'll be glad to do that, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, let's vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 65 through 68, which are bills 2008-31 through 2008-34, are eligible for adoption at a later meeting, so we're going to move on to the new bills. And new bills, items 69 and 70, which are bills 2008-35 and 2008-36, will be heard at the recommending committee meeting on Tuesday, August 5th, 2008. Mr. Jervik, would you be kind enough to read those?
I'll be happy to, Your Honor. Bill number 2008-35, an ordinance to repeal in its entirety Chapter 2.36 of the Municipal Code relating to the city's representation on the District Board of Health and five other related matters. And finally, Bill number 2008-36, an ordinance granting to AGL Networks, LLC, a limited liability company, AGL organized and existing under the laws of the State of Delaware and authorized to do business in Nevada, a non-exclusive franchise for telecommunications service within the corporate limits of the City of Las Vegas, subject to, in accordance with, that certain franchise agreement entered into and between the City of Las Vegas and AGL, and providing for other matters related properly thereto.
Thank you. Councilwoman, will you be available on August the 5th?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to assume that Councilman Barlow will be available too, so I'll assign Councilwoman Tarkanian and Councilman Barlow to review these new bills. Thank you very much, everybody. The council meeting is in recess until 1 p.m. In session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have one item on the one motion, one vote. Item number 85 is a site development review 27850. Applicant owner Jim Takata, 618 North 9th Street. Councilman Barlow has asked that to be held in advance until our August the 6th, 2008 meeting. Are there any other items, members, that we have to report at this time? Seeing none or hearing none, Your Honor, I make a motion to bring this item forward and take the appropriate action, please.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We're going to be pulling forward discussion items 92 through 95, 50 and 58, and consent item 34 to allow Councilman Barlow to participate via conference call. Councilman, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Mayor. Thank you.
Very good. Then what we'll do is we'll call the following matters. Item number 92 is VAR 27964. It's a variance. It's going to be a public hearing. The owner is the City of Las Vegas. The applicant is Alpha Omega Strategies. Request for variance to allow 640 parking spaces where 696 spaces are required on 13.36 acres on the west side of Decatur Boulevard, approximately 150 feet south of Vegas Drive. 93 is SUP 28101. This too will be a public hearing. The owner, City of Las Vegas. The applicant is Alpha Omega Strategies. Request for a special use permit for proposed senior citizen apartments on the west side of Decatur Boulevard, approximately 150 feet south of Vegas Drive. Item number 94, SUP 28102, public hearing. The owner is City of Las Vegas. The applicant is Alpha Omega Strategies. Request for a special use permit to allow an 11-story, 135-foot building where 105 feet is the maximum height allowed in the Airport Overlay District on the west side of Decatur Boulevard, approximately 150 feet south of Vegas Drive. Item number 95 is SDR 27965. It's a public hearing. The owner is City of Las Vegas. The applicant is Alpha Omega Strategies. Request for a site development plan review for a proposed 11-story, 416-unit senior citizen apartment development with 56,150 square feet of commercial, 17,000, is that 17 or 47,000? 47,700 square feet of government facilities, a fire station, and a park with a waiver of the residential adjacency standard to allow approximately 183 feet where 405 feet is required. and a waiver to allow a 6-foot wide landscape buffer on the southern portion of the site where 8 feet is required on 13.36 acres on the west side of Decatur Boulevard, approximately 150 feet south of Vegas Drive. The Planning Commission and the staff recommend approval on all these items. All of these items are in Ward 5. They're public hearings, which I now declare open. Who's representing the applicant?
Your Honor, we have two of us here tonight. Michael, this afternoon, thank you for the privilege, Your Honor. City Council, Councilman Barlow, thank you for calling in. Michael McDonald, Alpha Omega Strategies, 1408 Carmen Boulevard, and the partner in the project.
Bruce Bain, 851 South Rampart, number 150.
All right, very good. Welcome, gentlemen. Who's representing the city on this? All right, why don't we do this? Mr. Sanchez, why don't you give us a brief overview as to what brought us here today, and then we'll hear from the applicants and go from there.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor, City Councilor Orlando Sanchez, Deputy City Manager. Prior to Mr. Adams giving his presentation of the disposition and development agreement, like you said, I will give a brief overview of the entire project based on our briefings, the City Manager's informational report, and the chronological order of events on the site that were provided to you earlier in the week. If I could draw your attention to the map, you'll see the site over here. It's the old Wonder World site that has been in blight for over 8 years, been a blighted area for over 8 years. The development consists of 3 components. One would be a 65,000 square foot commercial space, which would be in this area right in here. And then 13,200 square feet of a gray shell fire station, which would be right there. And then 416 units of affordable senior housing, which would be right there.
Yes.
In addition, they will develop parking spaces over here to meet the parking requirements for the affordable housing, and a little neighborhood park right there.
You want to do that now?
The commercial portion of the development represents roughly 13% of the total value of the entire development, which is approximately $77 million. So you're looking at $10 million for the commercial development.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you, but the city attorney says that I should call the redevelopment agency meeting back to order now and call those items at the same time, because your comments are in large part directed to those. So that's what I'm going to do. This morning we recessed the 94, please.
Move to follow staff. Move for approval, subject to all staff conditions. Yes, vote.
Thank you. Let's vote. Opposed, please. Motion carries. And finally, item number 95.
Yes, and as we move to approve or recommendation for approval of this item, I would just like to say that the rendering is beautiful, but the actual site itself, Mayor, will be even more beautiful once it comes to fruition. So with that, I move for approval subject to all staff conditions. Yes, vote.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And I'm not going to tell you.
I know. I've been told.
Okay.
Your Honor?
No, I just said yesterday that when I saw the rendering of the project, you want to put it up again?
No, we lost it, sir.
Okay. It looked to me like a federal penitentiary, but I'm not.
Your Honor, can I have, Your Honor?
Yes.
It's been 4 years. Can I have just 2 minutes?
Sure.
There's some key staff members that you have that are phenomenal that I really have to thank. We'll start with the city manager. The city manager's office, city manager Doug Selby and Steve and Betsy, can't say enough. Thank you very, very much. You never gave up on the vision of taking care of senior citizens. Orlando Sanchez is one of the brightest stars I've had a pleasure to meet. He did a wonderful job on this. He definitely made us toe the line. City Attorney's Office, obviously Mr. Brad Jerbick and all his staff, especially Terry Quinticello and Jim Lewis on the right back before Jim. I appreciate you so much. You're definitely getting your money out of OBD. Sky Adams is awesome. I mean, to watch him and Bruce go back and forth about which ways to pick up financing for this project was a lesson in economics for all of us. Steve Van Gorp from the beginning, and Stoney Douglas, and especially Adam Sumner, who was towed the line. And you talk about late nights, over weekends, calling back and forth. Adam, you did an outstanding job, definitely. Neighbor Services, they're the greatest, Your Honor. Steve Washford, Lisa Morris, especially Tim Whitwright, who took a grilling on this over and over again. Leonard Dixon, who definitely made us, with the emails back and forth, as mentioned to Mr. William Bain, he made sure that we were all covered. From the state, there was Lon DeWeese, who we still have to go in front of, and also Freddie Yoff. Federally, Shelley Berkeley and her staff and her office, John Ensign and his staff, Senator Harry Reid, thank you so much. The planning, Margaret Wheeler, you're always the best, and you've made us jump through more hoops than I can imagine, and she has definitely always has the best interest of the city and each and every one of you. Planning Commission, all your planning commissioners, thank you so much. They relayed your comments. From planning itself, Mary Clevin and Doug Rankin, who were above and beyond. From the attorney side, on our side, Your Honor, as you know, this has been back and forth. I got sued because I am who I am. They tried to sue all of us, really, because to hold the site up. Attorney Richard Wright, thank you so much. John Moran, Jeff Ben David from his office, and we're working with Richard Jost right now that has been guiding us through the state process. Our architect, Dave Downing, has been late nights. Dave has drawn this site 5 times to make sure we can try and get it past you, Your Honor, and the rest of the council. Ken Levine from HUD has been very, very difficult during a difficult process. Has been very, very shining star. You can do it. Keep it going. This is what we need in the community. He is a pillar when it comes to looking out for people that are underprivileged, especially senior citizens. And then Mr. Henry, from Richard Henry, my vice president, and his family, councilman and mayor and council. Your Honor, this is a very difficult process, and I hope either from your office or the governor's mansion that you can maybe make changes to this. I mean, not just for us, but for everybody who's trying to do this, because you see the reason why people don't build senior housing. You see why they don't build affordable housing. You could not get a regular developer to do this. Without Bruce Bain and his family stepping up, this project would never have gotten built. No other developer does that. No high, powerful, rich developers come in and build affordable housing. It's because of this reading. And more seniors are getting pushed aside and pushed out. And hopefully there will come a day when you and each one of your leaders sitting up there can maybe change the law, change an ordinance, write it so there's more incentive to do it. Because we'd love to see, Councilman Reese's area, this would be great for his area, Councilman Tarkanian in her area. I mean, this is mature areas that can revitalize the entire way they go. Your Honor, my comment, I intend to pay my bet. That was the comment when I said that we'll keep eating and as I'm working.
Very good.
And Councilman Gary Reese, I definitely owe you one too. To each mayor, to each council member, Councilman Tarkanian, when you first got this, thank you so much. It was a gamble when we started putting this together, and you were there at the forefront. Councilman Brown, you've always been the economics one and made sure that we had crossed every T. Thank you so much. We had the privilege to redevelop Charleston and Decatur. Councilman Brown, Councilman Reese, and myself, and you cut the ribbon, Your Honor, on the Walmart. That was a gamble. We turned down a casino, and hopefully this will be the same thing. Councilman Wilson, thank you so much for all the times we had. It looked like we were dead there a couple times. We came back. And Councilman Ross, I can't say enough. Hopefully, from working there, we'll be there and enjoying when you guys cut the ribbon on this project. And most of all, to my mom and dad and my sisters. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's it.
I'd like to thank you also.
Very good. Good luck.
Mr. Mayor, just real brief.
Yes.
Just real briefly for the record, Mr. Rankin, who is in the planning and development staff, was not actually involved in the project. I'm sure Mr. McDonald's thank yous were just in general.
Right, that's
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Good luck, everybody. All right, items 72 through 79 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for... Yes, Councilman Barlow, would you wish to continue?
At this time, Mayor, I have to run off to my next meeting, but I do want to thank you for the opportunity of allowing me to be in on this item that was very important to the residents of Ward 5 in the city of Las Vegas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, and you're further excused for your duties back there. Now, I think we need a moment, do we not?
Just let me hang up the phone.
sorry?
Are we okay? Do you need any time as far as redevelopment? We're done. Okay, thank you.
See you, Rick.
All right. Items 72 through 79 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the Department of Planning and Development. May I have a motion to approve the consent items agenda 72 through 79?
Yes, Your Honor, no questions or comments. We make a motion to approve those items with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 80 through 88, with the exception of item number 85, may be considered in one motion, one vote. They are considered routine public hearing items with no condition changes. All public hearings will be opened at one time. Any person representing an application or a member of the public or member of the council not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the application recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this portion of the agenda. I now declare that items 80 through 88, with the exception of 85, are public hearings, and they're declared open. I'm going to read them into the record, and then I'm going to ask whether anyone wants to be heard on these items. Item number 80 is SUP 27742, special use permit. The applicant is Chipotle Mexican Grill, Inc., the owner NP/ING Montecito Marketplace Phase 1, LLC. Request for an existing use permit for a proposed restaurant with service bar within an existing restaurant at 7120 North Durango Drive, Suite 160 in Ward 6. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval. 81 is SUP 27897. This is a special use permit. The applicant is Clearwire US LLC, the owner City of North Las Vegas. Request for a special use permit for the proposed co-location of antennas on an existing 160-foot wireless communication facility, non-stealth design at 5912 La Concha Drive in Ward 6. Planning Commission staff recommend approval with conditions. 82 is SDR 27593, site development plan review. The applicant owner is Ralph's Grocery Company. Request for site development plan review for a proposed 14,383 square foot addition with exterior modifications to an existing general retail store on 9.65 acres at the northeast corner of Bonanza Road and Pecos Road in Ward 3. Planning Commission staff recommend approval. 83 is SDR 27793, site development plan review. The applicant owner is Corporation of the Presiding Bishop of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a Utah Corporation Sole. Request for a site development plan review for a recreation area addition to an existing church house of worship on 4.66 acres at 8525 Tom Boulevard in Ward 6. The Planning Commission staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. 84 is SDR 27842, site development plan review. The owner applicant is the Las Vegas Valley Water District. Request for a site development plan review for a 675 square foot utility installation on 12.9 acres at 2215 North Buffalo Drive. This is in Ward 4. The Planning Commission staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. And 86 is SDR 27920, site development plan review. Applicant owner is DI Properties, Inc. Request for a major amendment to an approved site development plan review for proposed 3,264 square foot restaurant with drive-through on 4.76 acres at 3040 East Bonanza Road in Ward 3. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval. 87 is VAC 27906, a vacation. The applicant owner is Clark County. Petition to vacate Rose Street south of Gold Ring Avenue in Ward 5. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. And finally, 88, which is VAC 27995, a vacation. The applicant owner is 220 North 4th Street, LV, LLC, and Blackman, Alford, and I Family Trust et al. Petition to vacate a public sewer easement generally located at the northwest corner of Ogden Avenue and 4th Street in Ward 5. The Planning Commission staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. As I said, these are all public hearings. Would anyone like to be heard on any or all of these items? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. May I have a motion, please, to approve items 80 through 88 with the exception of 85?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll make that motion following staff's recommendations and Planning Commission's recommendations with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. We'll now go on to item 89 in the new book. Thank you. That's great. 89 is SUP 25032, special use permit, applicant for Super Azteca. The owner is 3140 Valley View LLC. Request for special use permit for a retail establishment with accessory packaged liquor off sale at an existing general retail store at 3140 South Valley View, Suite 3. This is in Ward 1. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Yes, sir.
Jay Brown, 520 South 4th Street, representing the applicant. The applicant has been selling packaged beer and wine at this retail location now for several years without incident. We're now here asking for a special use permit to be able to sell packaged liquor. And as Your Honor has stated, this comes to you with a recommendation of approval from both staff and the Planning Commission, and we'd ask for your approval as well.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Brown? All right, folks, a public hearing. Would anyone like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Move to approve with all conditions.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 90 is VAR 27929, a variance. The applicant owner is the Apostolic Assembly of the Faith in Christ Jesus. Request for a variance to allow 29 parking spaces where 32 are required and to allow 13 compact parking spaces where 8 spaces are the maximum allowed for a proposed church on .58 acres at 218 North 15th Street in Ward 3. The staff recommends denial. The Planning Commission recommends approval, subject to conditions. This is a public hearing, which is now declared open. Gentlemen?
Good morning. My name is Sergio Roman, 2743 Municipal Court, and we just submitted this to the City Development Plan, and they did approve because we were applying for a variance on the parking and on the landscaping side, and they did recommend to approve. So.
And you're associated with the church, is that correct?
Yes, I'm a member of the church. Yes,
Very good.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm just...
You're hanging out.
Excuse me, Mayor. Sorry.
You're just hanging out?
For me?
You're just hanging out.
Yeah, well, just my name is Efren, Moreno Valley, California, and if any technical issue, I can answer.
Very good, thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor.
All right. Yes.
I believe there's a companion item, number 91.
Pardon me?
Number 91 is a companion item.
Oh, okay. I apologize for that. 91 is SDR 26818. Site development plan review related to VAR 27929. The applicant owner is the Apostolic Assembly of Faith in Jesus Christ, Inc. Request for a site development plan review for a proposed 1,056 square foot addition to an existing 4,161 square foot commercial building with a waiver to allow a 5-foot wide landscape buffer on the east perimeter and a 0-foot landscape buffer on the south perimeter where 8 feet is required for a proposed church on .58 acres at 218 North 15th Street in Ward 3. The staff recommends denial. Planning Commission recommends approval, subject to conditions. This, too, is a public hearing, which is now declared open, and I will take the gentleman's comments applicable to item number 91 as well. Folks, a public hearing.
Your Honor, if I could,
yes.
This used to be an old credit union. I haven't been able to talk. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to you. Could you please explain to us what you're going to do here?
Yes. Like you said, this used to be a credit union. The building is established right there. We're trying to add, I believe, it's a little bit over 1,000 feet of for the amenities for the general area, for the services, for the bathrooms for both men and women, and the portion of the section right there on the, I believe it's on the west side. The line on the west side is required for a certain amount of landscaping, and we applied for a waiver for that. And the existing part of the building, that's where the congregation is going to be. That's the assembly area, and we're going to add about a little bit over 1,000 feet for the amenities for the restrooms and stuff.
Well, I just have a question now. I guess my question is directed at staff. You say 32 parking spaces is all that is required?
Yes, sir.
For any church? Or for this church?
For this church, sir.
How many members do you have in your congregation at this time?
I believe we're upwards to 115, 120.
And 32 parking spaces is going to be enough? I really hate to, this is in a neighborhood. You have neighbors to the south as well as to the east. Across the street you have a brand new church that has plenty of parking.
Right.
I just don't feel like you're going to have enough parking here, so what we end up doing is parking in front of other people's houses and blocking their driveways where people can't get in and out and stuff. And I went by this location this morning on my way to City Hall, and I would really like to see your plans. I apologize, I haven't had a chance to meet with you, so, I'm going to make a motion, we hold item 9091 in advance for, until our August the 6th, 2008 meeting, so I have a chance to meet with these applicants and go over what they're trying to do in the neighborhood.
Okay, very good. All right, let's vote on the motion to obey, please. Opposed? Motion carries, and you'll get together with Councilman Reese? Sure. Good, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Items 96 and 97 is SUP 27870, special use permit. Applicant owner is MRA LLC, request for special use permit for a proposed 4,344 square foot supper club in conjunction with a proposed nightclub with a waiver to allow a 60-foot distance separation from a child care facility where 400 feet is required at 8991 West Sahara Avenue, Ward 2. Planning Commission staff recommend approval subject to conditions. And the companion item is 97, SUP 28192, special use permit. Applicant owner MRA LLC, request for a special use permit for a proposed nightclub in conjunction with a proposed supper club at 8991 West Sahara Avenue, Ward 2. Planning Commission staff recommend approval subject to conditions. These are both public hearings which are now declared open. Yes, ma'am.
Mina Alfafera at 2300 Whispering Hills.
Okay, be happy to hear from you, ma'am.
I would like to ask your approval for a special use permit to open this restaurant on 8991 West Sahara. This place will be serving Philippine food and dancing after 9 p.m.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions of the young lady? All right, close the public hearing. Be happy to hear from you, sir.
Hi. My name is Fred Sestilli, and I'm on the board of the association at the Lakes Business Park, in which she would like to have the nightclub. I don't feel that the club is conducive to the park itself for that type of atmosphere, and we're in a family neighborhood, and I don't feel that it's conducive to the family neighborhood either. And I'd like to hear what kind of votes that the public sent back to you on the cards that was sent out.
I'd be happy to hear from you.
I'm sorry?
I'd be happy to get those statistics.
Okay.
Do you have those or not?
No, I don't. I was asking you if you have
okay,
that.
yes. My record reflects that the protests received before the council meeting, there were 44 protests against the project and 13 for the project.
Very good. And again, I'm here as the board of the Lakes Business Park, and we're unanimous on that. We would not like to see it.
All right, very good. And I will also state that on item number 97, it suggests that 4 protests before the city council and 1 approval before the city council on that particular item. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Would anyone else like to be heard at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. This is Councilman Wilson's word.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Sir, could I ask you to step back up? And could you tell me your name again? I'm sorry.
My name is Fred Sestilli.
Sestilli?
Sestilli, thank you.
Okay. How about if I just call you Fred?
Sounds good.
Okay. Can you tell me why you're opposed to this kind of business coming into this area? Because it's my understanding this applicant wants to open up a Filipino restaurant. You're going to serve food, certainly.
It's an upscale restaurant.
Okay. What would your hours of operation be?
Right now we ask permission for 11 a.m. and we're not sure if we really would open at 11 o'clock. Most likely we will start with 5 o'clock p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay, and you serve food, obviously.
Yes.
And any beer, wine?
Yeah, we're asking for a special use permit.
Okay, for the beer and wine and liquor, or just
supper
beer?
club permit.
Margot, what does that mean?
That is the beer
with
and wine
liquor.
and the alcohol. Sir.
Okay, beer, wine, and the alcohol.
Service
Yeah.
with food.
Okay.
Service with food.
Okay, and you intend to have a ballroom, is that right?
Yes.
And what is the ballroom going to function as? What are you going to do in your ballroom?
Well, we will provide a dancing area for people who eat, and if they would like to dance, we provide them with music, a ballroom dancing music. And
Any live music?
no,
Okay, so And when you say ballroom-type music...
Because people are into ballroom now,
Sure.
so that's the type of dancing we provide.
Okay, we're not talking about rock and roll or new age?
Ballroom is jive, cha-cha.
Okay. All right. Fred, tell me why your association is opposed to this kind of business going in there. And the reason I ask is this, is that this applicant never contacted me, nor have you. This is the first I'm hearing from the applicant. This is the first I'm hearing from you. This area, up until fairly recently, has been a great area, but I've noticed there's been some businesses that have gone out of business.
Yes, including McDonald's.
Sure, and boarded up and...
Yes, and we're trying to change that atmosphere.
Okay, so...
We have no problems with the restaurant. We would love to have the restaurant. We can use more of those, in fact.
Yeah.
The nightclub's the only part that we don't feel comfortable with. We don't like the idea of people drinking, staying in the business park late at night, and especially when we have people that are working different hours in the park as well.
Is it the alcohol portion that's the issue?
In the lateness at night, yes. 2
there
o'clock in the morning. I just don't feel we need that kind of thing in our business park.
Are there any other businesses that are open these kinds of hours that you know of in the general vicinity?
I can't say for sure. I can only say that I know the Gemological Institute, which is a part of ours, has a lot of employees there. They work some different hours, and I don't know what times they get off, but just for the safety of the people at night, with, people who are partying and liquor, it just doesn't sound like it's the thing to be there.
Okay.
They only drink late at night, too. Just when they're going to eat.
No, I believe that you're requesting to be able to drink
Correct.
all during the open hours.
Correct.
Okay, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to obey this item. I'd like to put it over until our first meeting in August. I'd like to have both of you folks come up and see me. Maybe there can be some middle ground. I don't know. On the one hand, I'm in favor of new businesses. I think this would be a great business for the area. But I understand your concerns. Maybe we could talk about restrictive hours or something. Maybe we could talk about some certain conditions we can place on your business in the beginning. But I'm not prepared to make a motion today either way until I meet with you folks and talk to you more about it. Is that okay?
I
know it's not what you want, but it's what I'm prepared to do.
There's a tavern in that area, too.
There's what?
A tavern.
A tavern? Okay.
And also a bistro who also serve liquor that is very, very close. And I live in that neighborhood for 14 years now in a gated community. And, I like that area to be safe and quiet, too.
Have you folks talked at all?
No.
The two of you?
No, I first time met.
Okay. What kind of time crunch are you on, if any? When did you want to open?
Last month. But
Okay.
But
Well, let's do this. My motion is to obey this until our first meeting in August, which is August what? 6th. In the meantime, I'm going to have my staff do a little bit more research. I want to check into what other businesses that are similar to your proposed business is in the area. Number two, I want the two of you to sit down.
Okay.
I don't know if it can be productive or not. You two seem like reasonable people. Let's give it a shot. And then number three, I'd like you to come in and see me so that we can meet face-to-face with my staff, and the same for you, sir.
Okay.
Let's accomplish that in the next 3 weeks, and then we'll bring this back before the council on August 6th.
Okay.
So my motion is to obey both items until August 6th.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask Councilman Wolfson, the letters that come in supporting or not supporting, they're online, aren't they? I wonder if the people know they're online, because there might be some comments. I noticed comments there that they might want to bring up when they talk with each other. Did they all? Oh, they're online. You said you hadn't seen them, but they're online, and then you could, and you and she could see them and the concerns voiced.
Yes, I definitely would like to see those. And I understand that there's residential housing on both sides, on the north and south side of the business park. And I understand that the residents feel the same way as we do. We just don't feel that it's conducive late night nightclub in that area. We just don't feel that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and
So I would like
some
to
of
see
the people said they wanted to go dancing, so you have different comments. How do they get that? They just go to the city's website, right?
Well, Margot, are the comment cards that I have in my backup that Councilwoman Tarkanian is referring to, are they available to either of the applicant or this gentleman representing the association?
They are part of your package, sir, and that package is available online. They're all part of the agenda items that you have before you.
Mary's got something to say.
We need to clarify that. What is in your packet and what's online is current when the items go to print. We keep collecting a lot of mail all the way up through this morning. Those are not online until after the meeting's over. Then we update what's out on the web tomorrow.
However, if somebody wanted to go and look at these, they could go to the clerk's office.
Correct.
And request the particular item, and you'll provide that to the public.
Exactly.
Mayor Goodman, but as of tomorrow, after you post everything that's come in through today, either anybody can go online and find what's been filed, what's been received through today.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, but had the gentleman wanted to have this inquiry, he could have gone, I'm not faulting you, but it was available to you yesterday, for instance, if you wanted to come down to the clerk's office and take a look at it.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
But those votes do count. I mean, you take that into consideration also, am I correct? Because it sounds like there's a lot that was voted negative on it already.
Fred, I take everything into consideration.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, man. We'll see you back here on the 6th.
Thank you.
Okay, item 98 is SUP 27933, special use permit. The applicant owner is Hector Camacho. Appeal filed from the denial by the Planning Commission of a request for a special use permit for a proposed restaurant with a service bar with waivers to allow a 0-foot distance separation from a child care facility and to allow a 58-foot distance separation from a school where 400 feet is required at 4561 East Bonanza Road. In Ward 3, the Planning Commission and staff both recommend denial. This is a public hearing, which is now declared open. Yes, sir.
Hi, Hector Camacho, 1501 South Marina Parkway, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about your project?
Okay, I was planning to do like international restaurant, like 8 different kitchens.
If I could.
Yes.
I met with Mr. Camacho a couple different times. What we have, he's got, how many total acres do you have down there? How many total acres do you have? At this
3.5.
3.5 acres. He's already developed about half of the project, and in Plan A, and then Plan B, he wants to put in a little food court type facility where they have 6 or 7 or 8 different kinds of food with one service bar. And we have had some issues at this location. Again, with due respect to our staff, there is a child care facility next to this property. The alcohol will be approximately 200 feet from the child care facility. It'll be probably 200 to 300 feet away from the school. They go from property line to property line, so that's why it's, advertised as it is. I think a lot of times, some of those people that are opposing a project like this, they just kind of go by what they get sent, and sometimes it is misleading. I wish we could change that, but so far we haven't. And I do have some recommendations. I did talk to Mr. Camacho about hours, and he's willing to listen to the hours. I have also, I hadn't had a chance to talk to Mr. Camacho about this, but I think for his own benefit, I would like to put a condition in there, Mr. Camacho, that you could think about for a few minutes on hiring a management company to oversee your property when you're not there. So that when we have complaints and stuff, we have one person to go to take care of those complaints. And I think it would be beneficial to you, as well as all those people that are renting from you, to have one person in charge of taking care of the properties.
Okay.
And so with that, you go to discuss.
All right, very good. Okay, folks, this is a public hearing, if you'd like to be heard. Did you want to be heard, sir? You want to be heard, folks? Okay, why don't you step right up here and give us your name, please. If you'd be kind enough to take off your hat, we'd appreciate it. Thanks.
My name is Kent Rowry. I live at 4604 Julene Court.
and I'm opposed to this project. I talked to the Child Care Center. They were, and unfortunately, the Child Care Center and those that work at the school don't necessarily live in that area, but they were a little distressed that children would be so close to alcohol, people drinking, coming out at night. The school has activities in the evening as well. The Child Care Center, representative that I talked to was very upset about the fact of having that at such a close location, especially when the law prevents it from being that close. And I understand you can you can change that, but I'm certainly opposed to it. I don't think it's any place. The laws were on the books to protect our children, and they leave it to us to defend them. And I think with the school having activities, they have activities in the afternoon, they have activities in the evening, PTA, the children walking around. I don't think having a bar where there is opportunity of people consuming too much.
Sir, if I could interrupt you for just a second. It's not a bar. All it is it's like going to Macau, Vegas, and having a beer or I'm not a drinker, one of those margaritas, whatever you have, with your dinner. It's not like people are going to go in there and sit and drink and get out and drive. They're going to go in there and have something to eat and have a margarita or a Corona beer or whatever, and then leave.
Well, obviously, if they have to get approval for this, it's certainly not something that was to be allowed in the area.
Well, this is true, and that's why we have the requirements there. They can ask for the variances to relieve this, but again, though, it's pretty hard. You're on Bonanza. This is where the alcohol is going to be served over towards Bonanza, not back off of Diamond Head or Page. It's going to be more over on Bonanza, and we have alcohol served all up and down Bonanza in different aspects, whether it be a nightclub or a tavern or even supper clubs. And this is just a restaurant court with a service bar.
Okay, still, I'm opposed
well,
to
no, and I appreciate that. But again, though, if you want to have development in your area, and this is more of a sit-down type restaurants. It's not fast food. It's not takeout. People can go in there with their families. You can go in there with your wife, your kids, or whatever, and there'll be food there for everybody. I don't know where you'd put it, other than on a street like Bonanza or Owens, or I don't like Lamb, but Bonanza to me is the main thoroughfare, east and west. So I don't know where else you'd put it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Ma'am, did you want to be heard?
My name is Valerie Adamson, 4601 Julian Court, and I'm also opposed.
All right, thank you.
For the same reasons.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Yes, sir?
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council people. My name is Morris Friedman, the principal of DT Mark Properties, 16161 Ventura Boulevard, Encino, California, owners of the Child Time parcel at 555 Page Street, corner Diamond Head. For years, I've heard that Las Vegas is striving to be family-friendly. Well, what goes for out-of-towners must certainly be true for hometown school kids, and when I walked in here, I see that is indeed true, at least in small ways. You'd be hard-pressed to find any municipality that doesn't have an ordinance separating schools from booze. Yours is a 400-foot separation. Some may have more, others less, but no town accepts 0, even 58 feet. I'm a property owner. I'm all for government making reasonable concessions. Heck, Child Time's lease is up in January, and I may well need to come up and ask for rezoning and concessions myself. But since its inception, the applicant's development has been nothing but concessions. It's all recapped right there in front of the documents in front of you. For Phase 1, you changed zoning and allowed a massive structure with its back to the residential streets. What little you asked for in return: landscape buffers, shielded trash, no visible derelict cars. The applicant delivered on none of it. You can see that in the litany of citations also there in front of you. What you may not know is that during Phase 1, it got so contentious that the building department, from what I hear, needed a restraining order against the applicant, and site inspectors, the legal department, even police escorts. Despite all this, for this current Phase 2, you again made generous concessions. Concessions we didn't come here to fight, I might add. A larger footprint, a 20% reduction in required parking. Now, out of nowhere, surprise, comes the cherry on top. A request for a special use permit for a service bar. The justification, to quote the application, I will open a food court and I need this service bar. I want to let you know the business won't open during school hours. We will open at 4 p.m. during the week and on weekends. I can't tell you the specifics about after-school programs, PTA meetings, recitals, sports activities, perhaps even community meetings and adult education at Edwards Elementary School. But I do know that things are tough here in Las Vegas, and my tenant, Child Time, needs to be able to provide off-hour child care for late-shift working employees. Besides, can we dare trust the applicant at his word? Besides past history and common sense, logic about restaurant economics, there's the present instance. When Mayor Pro Tem Reese was kind enough to return my call and I spoke to him about this request a couple of weeks ago, he said, as he said this afternoon, that the restaurant would be on the northern Bonanza end of the center. He must have been misled by someone because the application locates it in the middle, even closer to the schools. But frankly, southern end, northern end, it makes no difference. It's all one big parking lot with lots of drinkers looking to drive. And may I add, with all due respect, Councilman Reese, you say you're not a drinker. I unfortunately am. I can tell you of many dinners I've staggered away from. Hopefully, I didn't get behind the wheel. We can't know that about everybody who's going to frequent Mr. Camacho's food court.
I can appreciate that.
Council members, in this situation, you as the city and I, on behalf of DT Mark Properties and Child Time, are equals. We both have schools and school children. We're obliged, obligated, committed to serve and protect. If some tragedy, heaven forbid, befalls, I know I can say, I flew here from L.A., I'm going back after you vote. Okay, but I came here to do my best for my school kids. Please make sure you do the best for your school kids. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, would anybody else like to be heard? Did you want to respond to that, Mr. Camacho?
Well, you know, if I could, we tried to protect, it's fine, we tried to protect the child care facility as well as Edwards Elementary School children. There is no access off on Page or on Diamond Head. All the access is on Bonanza. So people aren't going to get out and go back in through the neighborhoods. They're on Bonanza. They're not going out on Page, and they're not going out onto Diamond Head. It's blocked off. There's only one entrance and one exit. That's on Bonanza.
If I may respond to that, please.
All right. Wait, you have to speak into the mic, please.
On Diamond Head, directly behind the Child Time facility, there is what's called a crash gate for use in case of emergencies. I can't tell you how many times I envisioned some sauced-up guy in a rush either to get a drink or to show off for his girlfriend, just crashing through there and going right into Edwards Elementary School parking lot or into the school crossing. Now, I don't know how drunk you have to be. I don't know. But the riotous atmosphere that's at that place, at that location now, undoubtedly will not get better with this kind of festive alcohol-imbued.
I made a comment before about Mr. Camacho hiring a management company to see that stuff like this doesn't go on any further.
Well, any management company, I manage my own properties, and I can tell you, any management company would be hard-pressed to deal with it. I had a property in Chino, California, where there was a nightclub. Management company couldn't stop the 2 a.m. barfing on the street. I mean, and we all tried. It's difficult to contain under the best of circumstances. Thank you.
The different, what he's talking, people like this, if you go to the bar and experience dealing, I own two restaurants with liquor, one in the city of Las Vegas and one in Clark County. People go with families, hardly drink. Okay, as I sold my restaurant, I used to sell maybe 10, 15 cases of beer a week. The person I sold, he started carrying more for the single people. He started selling a couple hundred cases a week. I'm going to be carrying to family. Okay, I believe in family value, and that's what I'm going to do. If I want to open a bar, I'm not coming to open a bar right there. I need it because the economy is bad. I need to do something, and it's going to be good for the neighborhood. I'm going to spend just the construction cost plus the land. It's almost $5 million. At $3 million, you can call Black Mountain Community Bank, 990-5913. They're going to finance, and it's a $3 million ready to be dispersed next week if it isn't approved. It's going to be nice property. I'm going to redone the trees and everything in the other side, because I went through family problem. The property went down a little bit, but now it's a $3 million, and I got over $100,000. I got about $130,000 for a fix, change a lot of trees, and make the property look nice, like I did with other properties I own in Easter.
Okay, I got a couple questions, Mr. Camacho. On Monday through Friday, the service bar, how about hours like 4 to 12? 4 p.m. until 12 a.m.?
Be fine. Friday and Saturday, maybe sometimes people, in my experience in the restaurant, because it's a 24-hour time, maybe
4 p.m. to 12 o'clock, we'll put a 6-month review. If there has been any problems like that, maybe we could extend it. I'm not ready to go past midnight.
Okay.
And then about the question about hiring a management group to oversee all the properties.
Okay, that's no problem. I got Hernandez as a place. My realtor is a property management and.
Well, I've had so many calls about the existing property. I understand what you want to do, and I can appreciate that. And I can also understand what this gentleman's saying and what these people here are doing. I want to try to satisfy you as well as them. There is a need. I want to speak to these two people down here if I could. I haven't had a chance to meet with them. Can we trail this item for 10 or 15 minutes if I meet with them?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
Okay, I was worried about your time. Okay, we'll trail item 98 until Councilman gets back. Gentlemen, if you have a seat, please. No, not now. No, not without the councilman here. 99 and 100. 99 is SUP 27945. This is a special use permit. The applicant is Harpreet Brar. The owner is Durango Structures LLC. Request for a special use permit for a gaming establishment restricted within a proposed convenience store with a waiver to allow a distance separation of 115 feet from a single-family dwelling where 330 feet is required at 6410 North Durango Drive, Suite 105. This is in Ward 6. The staff recommends denial. The Planning Commission recommends approval, subject to conditions. 100 is SUP 27947, special use permit related to the prior item. The applicant is Harpreet Brar. The owner, Durango Structures LLC, requests for a special use permit for a beer, wine, cooler, off-sale establishment within a proposed convenience store at 6410 North Durango Drive, Suite number 105 in Ward 6. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. These are both public hearings, which are now declared open. Yes, sir.
Harpreet Brar, 1130 Cassidy Hollow Avenue, Henderson. And this is going to be a 7-Eleven, and I own a 7-Eleven North Las Vegas right now for the last 4 years without no complaints or anything on the license. Staff recommends denial for the gaming, but there's a establishment that is more closer to the homes already across the street from here, so I'm requesting approval from the City Council.
Thank you. Gentlemen, did you want to be heard, sir? Okay, fine. All right, there's a public hearing, folks. Would anyone like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. Everybody loves 7-Eleven. Don't you think?
I never had a problem with it. They don't serve any booze, but other than that, it's okay.
On agenda item 99, Your Honor, I would move to follow Planning Commission's recommendation for approval.
Okay, let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. And 100, please.
And Councilman Wolfson is right, Your Honor. How do you argue with a big gulp? On agenda item 100, I move to follow Planning and staff's recommendation for approval.
Okay, please vote on that. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 101 is SUP 27951, a special use permit. The applicant owner is OHDB LLC. Request for a special use permit for a proposed hotel, lounge, bar, and a hotel with 43 rooms at 2651 Westwood Drive. This is in Ward 1. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Yes, sir.
Mayor Goodman, Councilwoman Tarkanian, members of the council, my name is Joe Lamarca. I'm the manager of OHDB, and I'm the applicant for the special use permit. This is my business partner, John Hessling, who is the manager of the hotel. I ask you to approve it, please.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions of the gentleman? All right, folks, a public hearing. Would anyone like to be heard? All right, public hearing is closed. This is Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Move to approve with all conditions.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. 102 and 103. 102 is SDR 25276, a reconsideration. The applicant owner is Investment Solutions. Request for site development plan review for a two-story, 23,354 square foot office building on 1.04 acres at the southeast corner of Red Coach Avenue and Balsam Street. It's in Ward 4, and this application has been amended to a 35-foot tall, 20,656 square foot office building. The Planning Commission and staff both recommend denial. It's going to be a public hearing. 103 is SDR 25276, a rehearing. The applicant owner is Investment Solutions, Inc. Request for site development plan review for a two-story, 23,354 square foot office building on 1.04 acres at the southeast corner of Red Coach Avenue and Balsam Street. And the Planning Commission and staff recommend denial. These are both public hearings which are now open. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Sheldon Colon, 180 Cassia Way, representing the applicant. This project was in front of you about a month ago, at which time it was put on hold, so we could have more time to discuss the project with Councilman Brown. As a result of those meetings, we've reduced the glazing, so to be less of a hindrance on the surrounding community.
Excuse me, Mayor. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Mayor. Just a procedural thing.
We have to move the reconsideration first.
Correct.
Right. I wanted to put them both in the record, though.
Oh, okay.
All right, Councilman, at this time, would you make the motion on the reconsideration?
So moved.
All right, let's vote on that. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Please continue, Mr. Cohen.
So that's the project you see in front of you with the reduced glazing. It still has the same height that we had approached last time, and the parking is still within the requirements.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Cohen? Folks, it's a public hearing. Would anyone like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move for approval subject to staff conditions.
That's on 103. Let's vote on that.
If I may?
Yes?
There's some changes. We need to delete condition number 1 and delete condition number 5, as those are no longer relevant to the revised project.
All right, you have no problem with that.
Thank you,
No
Ms.
problem.
Rowland. Your Honor, let me amend that motion. Move for approval subject to staff conditions as amended.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Vote.
I'm sorry, one more is the reference to condition number 3, the newly revised site plan dated, elevations dated July 11th, 08.
Your Honor, I move for approval subject to staff conditions as amended.
And amended.
And amended.
All right, let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
104 is SDR 27898, site development plan review, public hearing. Applicant owner, City of Las Vegas, request for site development plan review for proposed 472 square foot community recreation facility, public, on 72.42 acres at 100 South Rampart Boulevard in Ward 2. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing, which is now open. Yes, sir.
Paul Donahue with Marnell Architecture, representing the applicant. This is a 472 square foot utility building that the city-owned Angel Park Golf Course has determined would be beneficial to their operation. We request approval.
All right, thank you. Any questions of the gentleman? Folks, it's a public hearing if you'd like to be heard. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. This is Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. A utility building. Tell me what a utility building is.
Currently, there's a building where golf balls are dispensed for the driving range. This building will replace that existing building,
It will have an automatic golf ball dispenser, as well as a parking facility for the cart that goes out and collects the golf balls.
And it's 472 square feet, is that right?
Correct.
You could probably go like this with your arm and touch all of those 472 square feet.
Just about.
Okay. Margot, I'm going to pick on your department a little, so get ready.
Ready for it, sir.
Here we go. When we noticed this, we noticed it as a community recreational facility. Now, this gentleman called it a utility shed. I think we should have called it a utility shed when we noticed it, because I received 9 protests. And this is for a small building in the middle of a golf course. My only point is this: I think if most people really knew what this was for, they probably wouldn't have protested. And I'm going to go back to my last agenda item, where we noticed the Filipino restaurant with a nightclub. And I know by code we have to do it for certain reasons. Now, you're looking at me funny. Maybe I just look funny, but we did. I'm looking at the book, and it says nightclub. And I have to think that maybe some of those protests came in because we called it a nightclub. So I'm getting on my horse right now, and I'm basically saying that I would like to meet, if any of my colleagues are in agreement with me, in the future to talk about relabeling some of these things, because I don't think our general public is really getting an accurate picture of some of the things we're trying to do up here. Because I think when they saw a recreational facility, they just automatically said no, when in reality it doesn't seem to be that. Do you have any comments, Margot?
I sure do, sir. Very briefly.
Okay.
If this was a storage facility and not an office for dispensing and the programs being out of this, then it would be a different project. Storage is different from a facility where there's offices and dispensing, where there's people there and serving the public. When there are people there serving the public on a recreational lot, then that is a recreational facility. With regard to nightclub, certainly a place where there is live entertainment, dancing is the primary use, then we do not a code does not differentiate by type of music or by type of food, but rather by the use itself. So where a primary use is dancing of any sort, then that is a nightclub. And where on a recreational facility such as this, and there is an office that is staffing a recreational function, then that is why it is classified as a recreational facility.
And I understand, and I respect your planning director's answer, but from a practical standpoint, I think at least I'm going to move in a direction so that, see, the public doesn't have the advantage of hearing that explanation when they receive these little notice cards. They just see recreational facility when it's a utility shed, and a nightclub, which doesn't give it much more explanation. So we'll have some further discussions on that. Okay. I am prepared to make a motion. My motion is for approval.
All right, let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 105 is ROC 28579, review of condition. The applicant is Young Electric Sign Company. The owner is Tenaya Village Investors LLC. Request for a review of condition to remove condition number 3 of an approved master sign plan that allowed only non-illuminated wall signage on the north side of the second floor of buildings A and B on 10.6 acres at 7495 and 7485 Azure Drive. This is in Ward 6. The staff recommends approval subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Your Honor, I just need to disclose real quick. I do have a nephew who I'm in partnership with on another house up in Lincoln County. I have not talked to him about this location or this application. I don't feel it's going to impact our relationship at all one way or the other, and I feel quite comfortable in going forward with the discussion and voting on this item.
All right. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Rich Henshaw, 5119 South Cameron, Young Electric Sign Company. When I originally did this master sign plan, there were 2 waivers involved with it. The first one was to allow non-illuminated signs on the south elevations of the buildings. If you see here, this is residential. So in the town center code, you're not allowed to have any building signage facing into the residence. So went out, met with Mr. Ross's office, and went out and got some petitions done around the neighborhood, and got that part of the master sign plan approved. The second waiver was to allow building signs on the second story of a two-story building where you're not allowed to do that. So this would be up in this area. Somehow, because you're allowed to have illumination facing north, across the street you have the Montecito retail, and you have the car dealership. So somehow, when the conditions were done, we were allowed to have illuminated signs on the north elevation for the smaller buildings, which are here, but on the two-story buildings, it got read in as non-illuminated. So I'm just asking for the review of conditions, and staff recommends approval, and just asking for your approval, please.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions to the gentleman? Folks, a public hearing? Anybody want to be heard? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. You confirmed what I was going to ask you, that this is just the north side elevations of the second floor of buildings A and B.
Yes, sir.
And for the record, you've already stated that. And with that, Your Honor, I'll move to follow staff's recommendation for approval of agenda item 105, subject to conditions.
Thank you. Let's vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, back to item number 98. This is the item concerning Mr. Camacho and the proposed restaurant with a service bar.
And I need to also, Mayor, again, in the item that was before this on our agenda on 96 and 97, it was also for a 60-foot food separation from a child care facility, and that's because it's from property line to property line rather than from front door to front door.
Right.
We had about, I think it was 33 people sent those cards back in opposition to this, but I don't believe, the ones I've talked to didn't have that much concern once they found out that it wasn't going to be right on the property line from across the school. I can certainly appreciate the gentleman here that owns the property where the child care facility is. I talked to the neighbors. They have had no problem with the hours from 4 o'clock till 12 a.m. or to midnight. And they also was adamant that Mr. Camacho hire a management company because they was very much against the way the property looks as it is today. And they wanted an outside. They don't want somebody they wanted somebody that there's many property management companies that you can hire to take care of the properties and see that they're run that it's run properly. And that's going to be one of my conditions. Can you accept that condition?
Yes.
Okay.
May I speak? While I definitely appreciate the desire to foster business in the community, what I need to reiterate is, and as was echoed by the gentleman who opposed and had spoken to the school, frankly, that's something I did not do because, as I said, their lease is up in January. They have the option to renew. They have the option to leave. The likelihood is, as he pointed out, not me, that when they find out, regardless of whether it's property line to property line or door to door, as it is, business is tenuous. The likelihood is you will replace Mr. Camacho's restaurant, which can function even without alcohol, with the abandonment by a corporate citizen that has stabilized that neighborhood for 20 years.
Yes, I understand.
And it will be a vacant lot that will, I pray not. I'm the one who's going to lose. My company will suffer irreparable damage if we have to sit there on an empty lot, because frankly, it's going to be well nigh impossible to get a tenant to replace with that next door.
I can appreciate that, Your Honor, if I can. The gentleman was here even when he was putting in the auto repair business. He was saying the same thing then that he's saying today. The only thing is he's saying it's the alcohol now rather than the automotive repair.
At that time, I was concerned about noise.
You said then that it was going to go out of business then. I mean, it was the same threat then that you're using today.
Excuse me.
Is that it was going to go out of business then?
What was going to go out of business?
That's your child care facility.
Excuse me, their lease is up. They couldn't go out of business then. They would have had to maintain the lease. The lease is up on January 31st, 2009.
You said the same thing then, though.
I'm sorry, I did not say that. You'll have to forgive me.
Going nowhere fast.
Okay.
Could I have a motion,
Sorry,
please?
but I didn't.
Mr. Camacho, then you are willing to open the alcohol sell alcohol from 4 to 12, Monday through Monday, 7 days a week. From 4 to 12.
Can get a little bit maybe to 1
4
o'clock.
to 12,
okay.
sir.
Yes. If that's a condition, I have to
We're going to have a 30-day review once the stores are open.
Okay.
A 30-day review. I mean, a 3-month review. And I want to see, as soon as possible, a management company, because I'm concerned now about the shape that the other property's in. So I want to see you hiring a management company as soon as possible to see that we can get this other section of your property in tip-top shape.
Okay.
Okay? With those conditions added, I'll make a motion for approval of this item with all other conditions.
If I may, Mayor Pro Tem, can I just clarify so we've got the
Yes.
conditions exactly right, please? Thank you. That the hours of operation of the alcohol sales shall be limited to 4 p.m. to midnight daily.
Yes.
That there shall be a property management company shall be maintained at all times, and the phone number of the contact person shall be made available to the City Council office at all times, and there shall be a 3-month review after issuance of the business license at a public hearing of the City Council. Applicants shall pay for the review public hearing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, that's the motion.
Councilman had something to say.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to say that I know in the past on many issues that Councilman Reese has shown his great concern for schools and for children and for families. And so I know that that's what's in his heart. Ordinarily, I would not vote for sale of alcohol this close, edge of property or not, but I trust his judgment in his ward, and so I am going to vote approval.
And again, Councilwoman, just for edification, the entrance to the school is off of Page. It's 2 blocks away from Bonanza. It's a block and a half from Bonanza, and the exit and entrance to this location is on Bonanza.
All right, there's been a motion. Let's vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay. Certainly. Okay, 106 is to instruct the city clerk to please set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meeting, Centennial Hills Architectural Review Committee, and dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements.
Thank you, sir.
Item 107 is citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to speak to us, please step up, give us your name, and we'll put the 3-minute timer on. And Councilman Reese is excused. Yes.
Good afternoon, Dorothy Barnes, Las Vegas resident. Still here daring to make a difference. I'm hoping the ones that hear me and understand what I'm going through with the line process, if they're in trouble, if they'll give me a signature on a promissory note, I guarantee you they'll be helped in some way. But I don't want them having a mental problem and hiding behind me because I'll get marked off as crazy, and I'm not for it. At 51 years old, celebrated my 51st birthday, the 27th of June, I'm getting to be an old lady. I'm not for the line. I've never been for it. And to put me in trouble, they don't know. The older I get, the more grouchy I get. So all the ones that's putting me in trouble with this situation on Nellis Air Force Base over here, I didn't come here to be a problem to the community. I came here to be an asset. and it's not getting any better here with the line process. I need everybody to either get off of my case. I don't care to have to be coming in here telling this business that's going on, but they won't come to me. They sneak around and whisper behind my back and do all kinds of childish stuff, and I'm not for it. I'm a grown-up. And if I have a problem, I go right to the person and say, hey, here it is, and we got to sell it or leave it alone. That's where I am. So everybody that's got a problem, an issue here, I'm open. And I'll take the signature. If they're too ashamed of what they've done to come forward, I'll take the signature on the promissory note. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Next, please.
Thank you, City Council, Your Honor, for hearing me today. I appreciate that a citizen come forward and give their ideas. Pardon me. Michael Lehr, I'm a Las Vegas resident, on again, off again, homeless person. I've been struggling with addictions for many years, from methamphetamines to even sleep texting, all sorts of technological and narcotic-related addictions. But I've devoted my life at this point to community, national, and worldly service. As far as Las Vegas goes, I wish for us to start making more attempts to provide an infrastructure to support burgeoning forms of alternative transportation throughout the city. More bike racks downtown, a plug-in for Segways, or at the very least, a locker I can shove my rollerblades into. There just doesn't seem to be much going on as far as helping people out who want to take alternative means. The bus system is well. But I should say also, I think we need to take a closer look at the due process of our criminal justice system. In our country, we have exonerated over 200 men from death row and long-term bids for crimes they did not commit. I think we need to take a closer look at this and also help these men out. With some of these men in prison for 10, 15, 20 years for crimes they did not commit, you can only imagine the fashion emergency that is sometimes behind these bars. So I think it's important that we set these men up upon their release, with local business support perhaps, with the latest styles, because to me the only thing worse than the execution of judgment or justice, is to walk out of prison, your first steps of freedom, wearing Cavariccis and a hypercolor t-shirt. That said, I think we also need more realistic policies in policing, more common sense repercussions in relation to our laws. If someone commits a felony in this country, we take away their right to vote. And no disrespect to our elected officials, but this is not a punishment. This is another day off. We need to take away from these people something that matters to the average person. It might sound silly, but take away their right to eat a sandwich. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but even the hardest dude on the block is going to grow tired of salads real quick. On a federal level, we need to start protecting our civil liberties more, and that's coming down to Las Vegas on the ground floor. I can't smoke here. I can bear my arms only here. I can only make out with a guy in these 3 states. And those who think they're immune only need to look to the preferred savings of programs that are available at all major supermarket chains. This is Big Brother in action. We need to protect ourselves. I'm not a part of any of these exclusive savings programs, but I would say that I don't want Uncle Sam knowing what I'm eating. I don't think I need to put my life under a microscope because once a week I enjoy falafel. I don't think that's fair.
And I appreciate that. Are you homeless now?
I am not, sir.
Did you start out saying you were homeless?
I said I've been on again, off again homeless, sir. Pardon me, Your Honor.
No, because if you were homeless, we do have a representative here to assist you.
Yes.
That's the reason I brought that to your attention.
Well, thank you so much, and that's good to know. I'm back on my feet for the time being.
Very good.
Going on, I want to be brief to hurry up here. We have a responsibility to our children, not only in Las Vegas, but children across the world. Unfortunately, every week on the national news and we see more occasions of teachers having inappropriate relations with children. I think we owe it to the children of America that when our teachers come to Las Vegas and visit us for their conferences and for their weekends out, that they're not being so overstimulated that when they return to the middle and high schools of America, that they're bringing possibly some of Las Vegas's more liberal sensibilities.
Okay, I'm going to have to cut you short now so the others will have a chance.
Thank you. It's been an honor to live here and speak for you today. Thank you so much, City Council.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard? Please give us your name first.
My name is Brenton Montgomery. I just want to come up here and say today to Councilman Ross and any other council members to come on down and see our facilities at Majestic Behavioral Health, LLC, at Rancho at 3670 North Rancho. We service the community here in Las Vegas, and what we do, we offer services to the foster care kids in the system here, offer basic skills and psychosocial for the kids that are in the foster care system, and we are making a difference in the community. We had met today with Judge Voigt as well as the other members of the family court, and just wanted to say, if you guys ever have an opportunity or a chance, Majestic Health is our website, majestichealth.net, and go on and look at our website and see what we're doing with the community, and we're making a huge difference, huge impact with what we're doing right now. And I have right now over 105 employees, and we're servicing over right now close to 300 children within our community. And we've been up and running for 1 year, and we've had many strides in 1 year. We're about to open up our teen program in a 10,000 square foot facility building, and we're going to be servicing teens from 13 to 19. And that will also be within our same complex, and that will be at 3680 North Rancho, as well as our 3670 location. So I'm just offering you guys the opportunity to come down and check out our facilities at any time. And I thank you very much. Again, my name is Brenton Montgomery. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Brenton Montgomery?
Brenton.
Brenton. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. Anybody else?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council. First off, I wanted to mention...
Please identify yourself.
My name is Teddy Russell, resident of Las Vegas. My name is Teddy Russell, the teddy bear, absolute vodka drinking next mayor of Las Vegas. The voices make me say these things. That was a running gag from when I wrote America's Funniest City. I wanted to mention, we do have a global audience. I wanted to mention to my friend Mayor Bloomberg that I am very much in favor of making the house that they built, which is Yankee Stadium, opened on April 18th, my birthday, when my dad was 6 years old. I would like to see that made into a high-tech museum, much on the order of what we're doing with our mob museum and the courthouse. I've seen the final plans at the Historical Preservation Commission. My apologies to Commissioner or Chairman Reed. Everything went into a blur when I ended the meeting. I would remind everybody that's interested in the progress of the 28th Amendment to please look at Clark County Chronicles. And Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I know you pretty well. I wouldn't ever say that you had an ego as wide as the all outdoors. However, I know something about you. You love being a defense attorney. You love being the happiest mayor in the universe. But most of all, you could be called a ham, and I've got a movie role for you. I'm doing a book and a film called Let Freedom Ring. This title is in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King, who operated most closely to the will and the legacy of Mr. Lincoln. And Barbara Streisand will be doing a cameo role as Mrs. Oscar Goodman.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to play Barbara Streisand.
No. let's not go there. Also, I wanted to thank everybody for their concern that I have not been attending these meetings. I was a victim of a atrocious assault, attempted murder by drug dealers. Jesus of Nazareth hung around with prostitutes and tax collectors. At that time in Jerusalem, a tax collector was rather much of a Benedict Arnold to the people of Israel. I assure you, Jesus of Nazareth would not be hanging around drug dealers. One person came into a park where I had been spending a great deal of time. I asked him what he did, and he said he was here from L.A., and he was a drug dealer. I told him, that's the stupidest thing I have ever heard. He said, what? And I said, every other person in Las Vegas is a drug dealer. What is with you? I also heard him say, I'm breaking up with my wife. I'm from L.A. I have 4 daughters who I love so dearly. Well, Sheriff Gillespie's Metro was not too friendly with him or his partner, who is a local. Long story short, as I wrote in a note to Rory Reed, I have not even made the crime report, but I know Metro well enough to know. And also, there are no coincidences. While I was at the law library, I noticed the out-of-towner and the local visiting the public defender's office. I haven't seen them for some time. I apologize for running over. There was something. Yes, this is extremely important. I am suggesting to Barack Obama, who wins by much more of a plurality than you're hearing now, that he choose Senator John Edwards for the vice presidential candidate, in that he is a champion against poverty and for unions, and his wife, Elizabeth, is a major and very intelligent, very wise advocate on universal health care.
I'm going to have to cut you short, okay?
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you so much, and have a great evening right here in Las Vegas.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard at this time? All right, thank you, everybody. The meeting is adjourned.